We're live. Welcome everyone to another episode of UFO Undercover. I hope y'all having a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are on the big blue beautiful planet. I say it every week. I've been saying this, for 2018, 16 years now I've been hosting the show. Well, this one in Wake Up USA, and it's I switched shows I was on Wake Up, I don't know, Greg, what, 4 or 5 years? 3 or 4 years, I forget. It's been so long ago now. It's kind of become Greek, for a lack of a better way of saying it. But a lot going on, guys. But tonight we're going to be discussing. We're going to be discussing a couple of things, but for the most part, we're going to be discussing fraud and ufology. And tonight we're going to start out with a particular individual who feels the need to attack us every chance she gets. Actually, that song by JoJo Fab is dedicated to you, Sasha, so I hope you enjoyed it, fake-ass bitch. Ooh, beep, beep, beep. No, we can say that, actually.
Well, you know she's going to turn you into the FCC.
Yeah, she can, but the word is legal. I can say that one. This is not a G-rated show, and I'll even put a little thingy on it when it gets on the rest of them. But anyway, guys, we're going to be talking about that. You know, it's always somebody's always attacking something. This all started... Christaina George did a show with Larry Warren. Now, I go back a ways with Larry, but I hadn't talked to him in a while. And I didn't even know any of this stuff was actually going on until I was sitting listening to Christina's show. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And then I started hearing stuff like Larry Warren's faking stuff, and he's cropping photos and changing photos and stuff. And I'm thinking, now, how can that possibly be? Because really and truly, Larry just does not have those kind of skills. He just doesn't. I mean, I'm not hating Larry. I like Larry, and he's a nice guy, but he's not a computer genius in any shape, form, or fashion. Now, on the other hand, Miss Sasha Christie is damn good at that. I've seen her banners over the years. Matter of fact, you can go to United Public Radio and see several of her banners from the different shows she's done with Peter Robbins, Larry Warren, and Sasha Christie. There's about 4 shows over there with the 4 of them, and then there's a couple of shows by herself talking about her stuff, and then them shows with Peter and Larry. Lots of information, so you can go listen to this. But anyway, getting back to the point, she's much better, much more computer literate than Larry ever was. I mean, anybody who knows Larry knows he's not computer literate. So if anybody was cropping photos, it wasn't Larry. I mean, I've heard some rumors lately that suggest that maybe something else was going on over there. Maybe someone was cropping photos and told, hey, Larry, you're going to have to do this if you want to stay here or something. I don't know exactly what went down, but all I know is there's an ungodly amount of hate coming off of Sasha Christie towards Larry Warren. I mean, it's unreal how much she hates this guy. And remember, she was his #1 fan for, well, as long as I've known him, and that's 14 years. So, I mean, that's a long time to all of a sudden the guy comes stays at your house. Next thing you're doing, you're calling him a liar, a cheat, this, that, and other thing. You're accusing him of cropping photos and doing this, that, and the other thing. When Sasha, both of us know Larry doesn't have them kind of computer skills. Check. What's up? What's up here? Did y'all cut some kind of deal and we didn't hear about it? Is there something else going on here? I mean, bottom line is you should not be this mad. So you said he was faking photos and selling them or something. What's mad? You didn't get you a cut or something? Or maybe, and then you start attacking him on Rendlesham. So you've backed this man his entire life, or the entire time this has happened on Rendlesham, but because he had something to do with a photo that you said he faked, nobody else can even prove this, you started hating on him for Rendlesham? Isn't that like being bitter? I mean, what else would you call it? I'm not sure. I mean, I actually asked both of them. When this first came out, I asked Larry and Sasha, I said, were y'all having an affair or something? Because really, I haven't seen this kind of hateness unless it usually has something to do with a relationship.
Right, and very personal. Very, very personal. Somebody's very scorned for some reason.
This goes well beyond any normal, he did this. I mean, you could have got mad and posted everything, but this constant nonstop attack and nonstop. Sasha, you're making the man more famous. And frankly, I'm losing credibility at a huge rate. And then you're going to attack me because I didn't agree with you? Which, that was just stupid, Sasha. You know, we voice stressed you a long time ago when your buddy from, I forget which one of the group it was, called me and said, Joe, I don't think she's been up and up on all of her contact experiences. So, we talked a lot over the next couple of years, and we did a lot of interviews, so we had a really good baseline to run one. But bottom line is, guys, Sasha's been going from us for a long time. both from the station and from the organization, which we'll get into more of later in the show. But, you know, when people start attacking and hating like this, they really need to remember some of the crap they've done. I mean, really. And I mean, it doesn't matter who it is when it comes to Sasha. She just attacks them because they don't agree with her, which I just don't understand that. You know, I just personally, I don't understand why you feel the need to attack someone nonstop because they didn't agree with you. I mean, if I was going to spend all my time attacking people that didn't agree with me, shit, that's all I would do. But
well, she also loves to play the victim. You know,
yeah.
she gets so upset at everybody else for discussing or mentioning her name as if we're all, you know, out to get her. But yet she doesn't talk about all of the stuff that she's doing behind the scenes that not everybody else is seeing. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, how can you hate me so much all because I scheduled Larry Warren for my show? I didn't know Larry Warren before that. Actually, Renee Chavez, who's the co-host of Top Secret News, has been friends with Larry and other people for years. I mean, personal friends. And so not just online friends. And I think I was sick or something or in the hospital. And I told Renee to find a guest. And so he found Larry and he says, okay, I got Larry Warren. And James Welch actually had reached out to me probably like a year prior. And he said, hey, you should really have this guy, Larry Warren, on your show. He's this UFO guy who lied about his abduction and all that kind of stuff. And I was just kind of like, well, why don't you come on the show and you know, go against him? And he just basically wanted me to do it. So I just kind of left it alone and never did anything again. And I didn't recognize the name. So it's no big thing. So when I scheduled Larry, I started doing some, you know, research, and I found like all the blogs. And I mean, again, it's not too hard to find out what people put out on the internet, you know, if they Google you. Does it mean it's the legit, or does it mean it's the truth? 100% not. Because anybody nowadays can have any opinion of you at all. They can say anything about you, and it will be out there forever. Unless, you know, the person who put it up there decides to take it down, which why would they if they don't like you? So me, you know, and I think this is what bothers me so much about so-called researchers in these fields, whether it be the paranormal or ufology, is that they claim to be researchers, yet they do no real research. They only research enough to fit their agenda. And then that's it. And they use it. If they think that it's going to defame you or it's going to make you look bad to the public, if you're in the public eye, that's all that they want to look for. They don't want to see, is there anything to back that up? Has there been any charges filed against the person? And so since I've actually gone through this kind of stuff personally myself, once I started kind of seeing her blog and just all the attacks online that were stemming from her, David Young, and James Welch, I was kind of like, oh crap. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So James had told her that I was going to do the show with Larry. And so Larry, you know, agreed. We got everything set up. She contacted me about Larry. So did James. And when they contacted me, she was quite upset that I was going to give him any airtime whatsoever. And she tried to convince me that he was this liar, this fraud. You know, I was doing the show on Rendlesham Forest, so fake memorabilia and crap, I mean, really didn't have anything to do with it. And in my opinion, if people are saying that you're doing something illegal, if you've been arrested or you've been charged, oh yeah, I'll talk about it for sure. I have no problem talking about it on my show. But if you have not been charged, these are just all accusations. Yeah, good luck. That you're not going to get me to go on and say something like that. And again, because I've been the recipient of similar attacks from, a family member and some past friends. So I get that people can put out anything, and most people will just read something. And if somebody puts up something negative about you, they're like, oh my gosh, let me delete this person. They're this horrible person. So I kind of started seeing like Larry's side in this. But again, I couldn't really take a side because I didn't know the story. So she got upset that he was going to come on. I messaged her back and said, well, you're welcome to come on the show, tonight or that night, and you can be on the show with them. I'll give you the equal time to say your side. And I guess I highly offended her by even offering that, because she said, I would never, ever do a show with Larry Warren. Are you kidding me? And I said, okay, well, then the next option I have is I could bring you on next week, and we'll bring you on the show. You can have the whole 2 hours, and you can, say whatever it is your side is. Because again, I did not have a side at that point of who was telling the truth. And she said, absolutely not. As if I was offending her, because she says, I would never go after Larry Warren. My information is much more important than his information, and that's the truth, and he's a liar. So if you're going to put him on first, I was just like, it was like somebody in high school, and I didn't do this crap in high school. So I was like, so be it, whatever, fine. And Joe, yourself, we talked about it, because I was like, who is this Sasha lady? Like, what the hell's going on? She's going crazy. And I even agreed, since you knew her, for you to try to facilitate to have her come on the show, or go on your show and I would come on, or whatever. I mean, I didn't care. I didn't have any opinion. And if they felt that strongly, I thought, well, that would be a great show. Have both sides. It's not anything new that I do controversial topics and shows, but we had attacks like just immediately. Obviously,
ridiculous.
I've never, they messaged you. I mean, she actually told people on her page that she was going to write to the network, and I was no longer going to be on the air. And I laughed at her. I kind of thought that was funny. I sent the happy face, laughing emoji, hey, go for it. It's not like Joe didn't know that, I was doing the show or what I was saying,
Not like I wasn't talking on a damn show.
Right. And you were on it as well.
It's just a shame, because when I first met Sasha, I really liked her. She's a nice person and all. And then, I don't know, she just seemed to go kind of psycho the last few years. And I'm not talking about me personally. I've been watching her with other people. She's always in a fight with somebody on the internet. She's always hating on somebody. I mean, maybe it's the way she makes herself feel better. I really don't know. And but it does seem like that. And then I've always been nicer. So she attacks me because I was like, well, no one showed me where Larry was breaking the law. And then after I got to thinking about it real hard and got to thinking about who had computer skills and who didn't. So even Sasha admits that Larry's laptop was there and she accessed it. She said she did. And he also had his other computer there that he says he gave to her. Now, she never told me if he gave it to her or not. But obviously there was computers there and there was material there. So, I mean, I don't know who was faking what because I wasn't there. But I'm telling you, there's way more than meets the eye to this case than we being told about. You just don't get that mad and that much hatefulness because someone faked a photo.
That's true. But even if that's true, okay, even if he did, and I said this all along, even if he faked something, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just looking at something. I was going to catch a call coming in, but I missed it.
No problem. Even if he faked memorabilia, which there is absolutely no evidence of, okay? If that was the case, they should have, taken this all to the police like they said they did. And, she was claiming that, charges were going to be pressed. And she keeps sending in all this evidence to the courts or to the police and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to come get him. Well, look, this has been going on for a long time. So if there was any merit to it, they would have already went and arrested his ass. And so until, then it's like really all that is her accusation. But again, even if that was true, that has absolutely nothing to do with Rendlesham Forest. Nothing.
No, it doesn't. And that's my whole point. She's attacking him over this nonstop. No one's ever told me where he lied or said anything about Rendlesham Forest other than what he said. And then for some reason, she just starts attacking him nonstop. And I just want to know why. I mean, because no one will give me a clear answer on this one. I've asked her 100 times, why are you attacking this guy? And she said, oh, it's because of this, because of the memorability. But why? Why do you care, Sasha, if he was faking memorability? What does it have to do with your life? unless you were getting a cut and he cut you out of it. I don't see why it had anything to do with you. This is just ridiculous. And then y'all said police charges this and police charges that. There are no police charges. No one can find any police charges anywhere. Hell, when we called over there, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say we. Whoever was posting on Facebook the other day said they had called over there. And when they called, I guess, whatever they call them in England, they said it. I don't know the name. They said they couldn't find any charges on Larry.
Well, Gary Hasseltine said the same exact thing. And he's a retired police officer, and that's what he had said. Like, he's checked multiple times. There is no evidence that there's any investigation going on about him. There's no charges. They haven't come to talk to him. I mean, like, how long are they going to sit on all this so-called evidence, before something happens?
That's the thing. There is none. That's the problem. There is none. And I wasn't even going to take sides in this until I got attacked. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Why am I being attacked here? I was like, what the hell's going on? I said, I'm talking to the guy because he's a guest. We're talking about what's going on, what's upcoming, the new movie, the polygraph test, And wait, what account he's on? Hold on, Jay, you're on the wrong account, man. Why can't I get you? Jason Wilson trying to call in, but for some reason it keeps diverting him to the wrong account. You know what? Let me just close this account and maybe.
Can't you just drag him in?
It keeps going on the other computer. I was like, what the hell's going on? Because it's going on. No, it's going on. It's going on. No, it's going on Paranormal 2012. Jason, you listening, man? Call the UFO Paranormal Radio Skype. The UFO Paranormal Radio Skype. You're on the wrong one. Nobody can hear you if you're calling on this one. That's just the one that's not even on anything. Call on the UFO Paranormal Radio. Actually, I would drag you, but I have to take us all off cam and move everything around and drag him in.
Yeah, hopefully he'll hear it. As well as if anybody else has.
Call on my phone.
Well, no, I should be able to get him. It's just he knows which number to call. I mean, he knows which one to call, but for some reason, I wasn't paying attention. He's still calling on the Paranormal Radio one. It's
send him a message on Skype and tell him to call you on the other one.
Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Hold on. Where's he at? Recent calls. There we go. Yeah, we got him. I think we got him. Hold on.
All right. And for anybody who has comments or want to chime in on this conversation tonight, feel free to call in. The area code is 504-273-7379. We definitely want to hear your opinion.
Yes, and whether you're
if you're the haters.
Whether you're pro or against, feel free to call in. I want anybody to feel like they can't call in because this is an open conversation because a lot of stuff went on the last few days. So call in. Woo, you look, God damn, somebody just scared me. I'm sorry. You looking good, old man. How you been? I'm talking to Jason Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. He kind of looking like Grizzly Adams over there, Lord Sasquatch or something.
Oh man, it's cold. I need the beer to keep facial.
Oh look, you preaching to the choir, my friend. It's probably colder for you, but it was 16 this morning when we got up. I was like, what?
It's not that cold here. I saw a dude walking down the road today with a full-on beard, tank top, and shorts.
Well, he's an idiot.
Yeah, but there's always some dumbass in Texas that's going to do that.
I can't say anything. I'm a wisp.
I posted, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what we're talking about, on my Facebook page, I posted the temperature this morning along with, the icicles and the snow and every other thing. But for me, it's weird because it snowed 3 times in 3 months, and that's more times it snowed in the last 10 years. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, we got a little snow yesterday and the day before. I mean, I had to get the hairdryer out to unthaw my car door so I could get into it, but that was about it.
Yeah, Sam told me.
And it's sprinkled. It's like somebody took a Parmesan sprinkler and sprinkled around everything around. I mean, there's just maybe an 1/8 of an inch on everything. I mean, some of the ground was wet and a few people had a problem with that, but
wherever there was no
they
grass.
Closed everything, dude. I mean, schools closed, county closed, stores closed. I spent winter up in northern Illinois. It was cold, snowy, gray hell from November till March. They didn't shut everything down.
No, because they're used to it. They got salt and sand and all this stuff that goes along with us poor idiots. We ain't got none of that. Texas got a little more than the rest of us because Texas gets a little snow in North Texas. But shit, where I live, man, they don't even snow. They're like, what the hell is that?
That's why
not
crazy.
not this part of Texas, man. It's like we've had like our 2 possible snow days for the year already. I mean, we're through the most of it.
Remind me when we get off, and I got something for you. We getting ready to do. You probably like it. You can come down and chat with us. It's one of them crazy. It's the Beauvoir. In case y'all know what Beauvoir is, it's the. Should I say this on the air? It's the Confederate home of the late president of the Confederacy. But that aside, it's a beautiful place, and they give us really good deals on speaking engagements. And the way I find out is 2 of our hosts work with a group there that does a paranormal thing. They do dinner with the ghost at Beauvoir Manor and the whole 9 yards. It's a lot of fun. They put on a nice weekend gig. So I called them and talked to them, and they got pretty damn good prices. So I was thinking we might put on maybe before we get into full-blown, maybe May, before we get into full-blown tourist season, when everything's still cheap enough and the hotels are nice. Because right now, guys, you can get a hotel at the casino for $40 and a nice room, too. You can go, like, if you want to stay at the Hard Rock or Beau Rivage, you can get in there for $100. They're usually $400 a night. So it's a good time to be down and enjoy it. And I just been wanting to do something. Just the first annual. I just want to get it rolling. I mean, we're only going to invite maybe 10, 15 people, but and they're all going to be volunteering their time. But still,
just make sure that I'm super close to the spot and nowhere near the swamps, because I swear if I go out there and I see a damn alligator, it's over.
No, not there. You're not going to see no alligators there. Unless it's crawl up in a salty beach, you're not going to see it. Who's
know.
that? Caller? Who's that? Callie? Who was that?
It's Cali.
Okay.
California.
Yeah, I just see a lot of faces and numbers in here, so I was just making sure everybody's in the queue. Jason and I were both friends with Sasha, and I know Jason likes Sasha, so I'll give him first run, and then we'll kind of just go through everybody.
Jason likes all the crazy ones.
Y'all ain't got into it yet?
Huh? We've been
got into it yet?
No, we just been kind of talking about it because Sasha went ape. This whole thing is just really weird, Jason. And maybe you can throw some light on this. Besides the Larry Warren thing, I can't figure out why she went so ballistic about this. I did. I called her, and I didn't call her. I called her on Skype and asked her. I said, did you? And I asked Larry the same question. I asked Larry on air. I said, did y'all have an affair? Because it was so much intense hate. Them first couple of weeks, I was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, I said, and you're telling me this is over a crop photo? I'm just not believing that. And they both swear there was no relationship. Both of them told me the same thing, and they both swore to it. And of course, after that, all the stories varied, greatly.
What stories vary? I mean, Joe, nobody's coming up with this relationship BS, but you, dog. I mean, I hate to say it, but you're really the only one pushing it.
No, that's what I just said. I asked them both if there was a relationship. They both said no. I wasn't pushing anything. I could have gave a good shit. I just wanted to know why she was freaking so hard. You don't get that mad, and you don't get that much hate over a cropped photo. That's bullshit. There's got to be more.
Joe, I'm going to tell you what a lot of this is about. And quite honestly, hey, somebody was stabbed in the back. And I mean, Jesus Christ, man, you don't invite somebody into your own home, get like completely and totally dumped on. And how would you react if I came into your house and then all of a sudden started shitting on your floor, basically?
But the problem to this is we only have Sasha's word for it, and her word just ain't that good, boss. It's
talking about Sasha Christie, or
yeah, it's just
yes.
Yeah, no, we're talking about Sasha, and the problem is it's just when it comes right down to this, it's like when she told me Larry did all these photos. Jason ain't shot in hell. Larry did that. This son of a bitch can't even get on Skype, man. There ain't no way. If anybody was cropping photos, it was Sasha. Sasha's done lots of
Joe, actually, one of the photos, if you look at the one where he's standing there with John Lennon at the bar and shit.
Yeah, the one with the picture of him today. Yeah, he would have never done that. No.
Well, here's the thing, Joe. He was supposed to be like what, some teenager in that photo, and he looks like some 40-year-old man.
Yeah, that's the point.
And Joe,
he's not gonna make that kind
come
of mistake,
on, man. Don't act like you need to be a Photoshop wizard to fake a photo. Do it the old school way. Cut it out airbrush it, take a photo of a photo, and that's how you fake shit back in the day. And he's certainly capable of doing that.
But that's not
But
back
I
in the
think
day. These are digital. This was done on a computer. Sasha said it herself, so there's no reason to even argue this point. So these were done on a computer.
Wait. Which photo
and
are
there's
you
no
talking
way
about,
Larry's
Joe?
not
The one that's
stupid
supposed
enough.
to be back
Larry's
from the
not
70s
stupid
and
enough to
80s
put
and
a
shit.
tape.
Now you're trying to say that an old photo taken on 35 millimeter or 126 has to be digital. That's because he doesn't have the original. All he's got is a photo of a photo.
The cropping was done on a computer. The cropping was done on a computer. Okay, this is not even an argument by anybody, except for maybe you. This isn't an argument. These were cropped on a computer. He doesn't have those skills. He just doesn't. Somebody would have had to do it for him. And frankly, Jason, this really smells to me like somebody was cropping photos and they were selling them, and then somebody got janked, and then everybody got pissed. That's what it sounds like to me. But I can't prove it.
Have you asked Peter? Have you asked Peter about this? I mean, he knows Larry better than anybody. Has known him longer than anybody, and he's completely and totally disowned the man because he believes he's a fraud. What do you know that Peter doesn't know?
Well, no, I read what Peter wrote, and he's basing his on Sasha. So that don't mean
Joe
squat.
should have known I was going to bring it home. This is like that Star Trek episode where Captain Picard had to be Data's lawyer. I'm Captain Picard being Sasha's fucking lawyer. What's up, homie?
Okay, well, I have a question though. So even if all of that is true, the memorabilia, whatever, there's no charges. But what does that have to do with the attacks about him being a liar about Rendlesham Forest? Because she's been spreading this for a long time, and he obviously passed a lie detector test. So as far as that's concerned, where does she go from there of all of the accusations that he lied about his encounter and what he experienced?
Well, the first thing I'd like to see I see where you're coming from, and I suppose a polygraph does sound pretty good, but remember, those things aren't allowed in court.
They're not, but they're pretty
Jason, that's not true.
Wait. In 1997, in front of 800 Psychology 101 students, I was administered a polygraph test by Dr. Mark Lewis, who basically ran psychology at UT Austin back in the day. And I beat a polygraph in front of 800 students because, quite honestly, they only catch you if you're afraid of being caught in a lie. I mean, they're not some kind of magical truth detector. That's simply not how they work. They more or less measure your physical reactions to basically you being scared if you think this fancy looking machine is going to catch you. And that's why they aren't admissible in court. And they can be simply beaten.
Let me
that was like a high-ass 18-year-old student.
Let me clarify. First off, guys, and Jason's wrong. They are used in court. They can be used in a civil court all day long. They can be used for bringing up charges for people on rape and every other damn thing. You can't use them as evidence in a felony case, but you can use them all day long. Every business in this country still uses polygraph.
No, you can't use them in a criminal case. You can say that they're supporting evidence in a civil case, but civil law and criminal law are two completely different things.
Yeah, but he's still the whole thing is he still passed it. He still passed it. And the thing is that how come your friend Sasha won't take one herself?
Who agreed with that? And he took it to one of the number one polygraph givers in the country.
Hold on, Joe. I want to hear his answer. So why has Sasha refused to take one?
A test who's offered to administer a polygraph to her?
Well, if she's exactly, and the thing, look, if it was the case, if she's sitting there, she's saying that this guy's lying all the time, and she's telling the truth. He does a polygraph and he tests it. And passes it. Maybe he is a complete lunatic and he found a way somehow to pass it, or he's super intelligent like you and found a way to pass it. But if she was to take one, right, and she passes hers, then maybe you would question, his, because how can two people be telling the same story and both pass? But if she failed it, that would put even more credibility to Larry, right? I mean, you would think that if this is so about the truth and it's not about personal vendettas, then that would be what she would want to do.
Well, here's the question. If you offered to give me a polygraph test about anything, even if I'm not some super smart asshole who thinks he can beat a polygraph, who's going to administer the polygraph? Who's offered Sasha? Yeah, I mean, you're acting like
the
somebody's
number one
offered
polygrapher
to
in the
administer a
UK.
polygraph to her.
It's
Who
the
made the
number
offer?
one
I'll do it for free, but I
polygrapher
can't promise
in
I know what I'm
UK.
doing.
So the person who gave them see, and that's another thing. They
went
tried
after
to
her
trash
too.
this woman. Yeah, and I went and looked her up. She is the number one polygraph giver in
That's
the freaking UK, and she does it for big businesses and big companies. So this Larry Warren deal was done because there's a new movie on Rendlesham coming out. So all these witnesses out there, they went to Larry. They didn't go to John or what's his name. They didn't go to Holt. They went to Larry. But they told Larry, if we're going to do this, you've got to take a polygraph because we want to know what you're talking about at Rendlesham is true. So he took the polygraph and he passed it.
And they chose the person.
Now, wait, let me finish. Holt hasn't taken one. Neither has Burroughs. None of them have. But he has. So he's already one step up on everybody else. If you're going to get up there and put your mouth and run your mouth and someone takes a polygraph, then it's up to you to stop it. The only recourse Sasha has now is to take a polygraph. And she's not going to take one. She just won't. And it's not even the first time she's been offered. When Joanne and I had that talk about her abduction case, when we said, well, why don't we work this out and see what's going on? Because, the more evidence, the more credible the case, she wouldn't do it. So it makes me beg the question, why not? I would take one. Hell, I've seen half these guys from the Me Too generation just take one and pass them. Well, some of them, not all of them. But it's a lot of them passed them. But I agree with you, Jason. If you really got the intellect that you can control your emotions, and actually they say the dumber you are, the easier it is to pass a polygraph, by the way. The smarter you are, the harder it is to pass one.
Here's where I'm coming from on that. I mean, I think this guy's a long-term con man. He's conned people in the music memorabilia industry, and he's conning people in the UFO industry. And you know that both of those fields are filled with people, if you tell them what they want to hear, they're going to believe you. I mean, polygraph or not, he's got a brownie point for having a polygraph if you believe in those things. But
again, he hasn't been charged or investigated. I mean, contacted about the memorabilia. So again, it's reckless to keep putting stuff out there like that. He's a known con man. He hasn't been charged or convicted of anything. So there's no proof that he's a con man. There's no proof that he's the one that photoshopped it. It is two people who have completely different stories. One of them is obviously telling the truth, and one of them is a liar. And
actually,
I don't
Christy,
see.
I hate to say this.
Well, here's the thing about it.
I think there's some lies and some truth on both sides here. I got to be honest.
And that is probably the way it is.
Something. There was way
all right.
more
Since everybody is sitting here at your computers, hang on, Joe. Go to Google and type in fake John Lennon UFO sketch, and you will find out that Warren sold what he considered, what he said and sold as, a fake John Lennon UFO sketch from when him, this lady, and Yoko Ono were all living together. I mean, it made a big thing in the rounds. I mean,
and why wasn't he charged?
Russ Kellett paid like $40,000 for this thing. May Pang herself, who Warren said he got the sketch from, says that it's a fake. She only has one copy of it. But John Jason, only made one copy of it.
Jason, where did Larry say that? You can't just do that, dude. You're going to have to show where Larry said that, because I haven't seen anywhere where he said anything of any kinds like this. All I've ever heard is Sasha say this. I've seen no audio of him, no YouTube videos, no nothing of any of this. Only place I've heard this come from is Sasha. And Peter hadn't even said this. So there's something.
No, Peter.
Wait, what did you say to look up?
It was the whole memorabilia thing that got him questioning Larry in the first place, and.
Okay, well, I got a question for you. I got a question for you.
So all right.
Peter, wait, Jason, let me finish. If Peter thought Larry wasn't telling the truth, why was he pushing that book this year at the conferences?
You got it. Even being published anymore, dude.
No, Larry had it pulled just now. No, dude, we got it. Look, he was there pushing the book this year at conferences. There ain't no ifs and ands about that.
Then why has Larry released practical books that are statements that are practically books on their own, completely and totally disowning Larry Warren? I mean, what do you know that he doesn't know?
And then wait, did you see the book? Wait. Did you see the book that Peter Robbins wrote on Larry Warren, defending Larry Warren against Holt and everybody else? Have you seen that book?
Yeah, I've read the whole thing.
Not Rendlesham. I'm not talking about Left at Eastgate. Peter Robbins wrote a book defending. He wrote this about Charles Holt, defending Larry Warren. This is you can look it up for yourself. We were talking about it on the show last week. This is a big deal book. And the thing about it is he goes way out of his way to defend Rendlesham. So this isn't about this. This is about something else.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Rendlesham doesn't rest only on Larry Warren's shoulders. I mean, he's not the only person that was involved in this. There are a lot of other airmen out there that, quite frankly, I mean, yeah, they've made some media appearances out there, but they're not trying to make themselves out to be the hero of the whole thing.
I only know 4 witnesses to the case that's got any credibility whatsoever. And actually, I got to tell you, John Pennison and Burroughs, with their time traveling stories, lost all credibility. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's mostly Penniston's thing, and yeah, I've always had problems with that. I mean, that sounded like he watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and he walked up to this UFO thing, and he reached out and touched it and mind melded with it, and then years later, his binary code's coming out.
You need to look at that book Peter wrote about Holt, because he went through and took Holt apart piece by piece by piece through the whole book, and it was damn good. I got to say, Peter, if you're listening, man, that was well written, and you really just kind of wiped Holt out completely. So there's another problem. He's destroyed the other witnesses.
Peter was defending basically his life's work in that book. I mean, that's what he is known for. And he changed his mind about him. Yeah, he believed him at one time. Then he changed his mind based on a pattern of behavior that he's had problems with for a long time. He finally had to come clean once the doors were blown off of it.
It comes right back to why was he at the conferences pushing the book.
I'll tell you what, Joe, why don't you invite Peter onto the show to talk about it?
I have.
We have.
Hey, can I say something about this whole situation? Like,
no, you may not. No, go ahead. Go ahead, dude.
Okay.
Look, okay. Wait. Before you go, Chad, because people are gonna get crazy. Jason and I fight all the time, so y'all don't get all huff and bent out, okay? It's just something we like to do over here. Not all the time, and we agree about some shit.
The shows that we have, everybody has the right to their own opinion.
You know why Sasha's so pissed at you right now? She feels like you stabbed her in the back, dude. And hey,
I feel like
you used to say about her that she was the hardest working person in ICAR. You heap lots of praise on this, and honestly, dude, this is truth here. I think you got a little butthurt when she jumped off of this network and moved to another one. No, you felt stabbed in the back.
See, Jason,
she feels stabbed
right there. You don't know what you're talking about, Jason. You know, of course, y'all are going to have some fucking drama. You know what happened to Sasha, right? Stephanie Benetti canned her ass for doing a piss poor job with piss ratings.
No, Stephanie never should have been able to run anything in the first place, because quite honestly, she was nothing but a biatch, and you ended up firing her over that.
Yes, she was.
And everybody told you she was.
I ended up over Patrice, but we'll get into that another time.
Well, I have a question real quick, though, Joe.
For bad ratings and bad attitude. That's why she got killed.
I have a question for him real quick, because so you say that the reason she's mad at him is, because she feels like he stabbed her in the back. So why is she attacking me? Why is she so pissed off at me just because I had Larry Warren on the show? I called them haters because, again, look, it's very obvious that they don't like him.
You really have to ask that question? You've just aligned yourself with all of her enemies, her perceived enemies. Of course she's going to fucking hate you.
She was still friends with Joe. I didn't align myself with anybody. He was a guest on the show, and I offered her to come on that show. She said absolutely. She says now that she was never given any airtime, and I actually have, and I will put them out. I usually don't put private messages out between people, but I have them. And I offered to have her come on the show. Not only her, but James Wells and David Young, all 3 of them, to come on the show. She could come on and she could tell her side. I would give them equal time, and I would meet it.
Y'all just had a show where you were basically dumping all over her.
No. I didn't.
This is the first show we've even talked about Sasha, Jason. So
I didn't know Sasha. I didn't know Larry. My co-host had been personal friends with Larry for many years.
With her perceived enemies and.
But doesn't that show how childish she is? So I have nothing personal to do with it.
Is childish. Hey,
there you go.
That's the honest truth about it.
Look, I'm a radio show host. This is what I do. And I do controversial shows, and I get guests that people don't like. But you know what? If they've got haters out there, I am more than happy to give them a whole show all by themselves to tell their side. I don't have a side in this. But when I started getting the attacks, just because I had him on the show and she was pissed because specifically what she said was that she would never go on a show with Larry Warren. And I said, okay, well, then the next thing I can offer you is I can let you come on show next week, right? It'll be all about you guys. You guys can give this part 2, your half. And she said, absolutely not. I would never go on. She said,
unless you thought she was going to lose.
I don't know, but she said, I would never go on after Larry. I'm not second to him. I'm the one telling the truth. He's the one lying. If you put him on first, I'll have nothing to do. Then cussed me out and ended up blocking me. And I was like, whatever. And then they got all upset because they heard the show and I called him a hater. And oh my God, she told me that she was going to get me thrown off the network, that she was connected with Joe. And so they were still friends at that time. And she wrote him, she called him, she complained, her friends, commented negatively on the show, everything you could possibly think of, because I did a damn show. So, if you want that much attention from me, I'm more than happy. I mean, I haven't said anything about her since the shows, and so
here's the thing though. I mean, this is drama, and hey,
and obviously she likes
everybody
it.
just loves to revel in drama.
Well, obviously she does. Have you seen her blog? It's all about people she doesn't like. And she sure has a lot of them lately.
Let poor Callie get in a word. Callie,
sorry,
you in there,
Callie.
She's hard with this group to get a word in. Go ahead, Cal.
Yeah, so here. So, like, kind of rewinding back a little bit, going back to the polygraph thing. Like, I think, like, another way that, like, Larry Warren could pass and not like, necessarily be saying something that's true is if he actually believes it himself, even though it may not be what happened. And I'm kind of curious. I feel like that this whole situations like this with Sasha and Larry, like it seems like this happens a lot in the ufology community. I don't know if it's just tied to.
It's everywhere.
Usually, I stay out of it because I don't get attacked.
Can I like say something a little more further? Yeah, I feel like it's almost like it's just something that just comes out of nowhere in these kind of people. If you assume that they actually had experiences or they were actually abducted, like it's something like I hate to be conspiratorial, but it almost seems like it's something was put in their mind to cause them to snap at certain people if something comes out, almost to like just the whole discredit of creating discredit. Like I don't know what you guys thoughts on that are. It could be a little bit of ego, but the whole thing just seems very, very odd to me that this happens all the time, and not just ufology, but paranormal.
Right.
Normal stuff.
Egos,
it's just
this is an entire field full of. The only way to say it is prima donna bitches who have something they're trying to sell to somebody. Of course, everybody hates each other.
Girls, if you coming in
but
on
when
Skype, I see you stay on.
Well, I was just going to say, it's all the personal attacks. I mean, it was a funny thing was that when she got so mad at me the other night when we had Larry back on to announce that, because again, I told Larry, look, okay, I've heard your side, sounds good. I don't know. And so if you get a lie detector test and you pass it, make sure to let me know and I'll bring you back on the show. And that's exactly what I did when he passed the lie detector test and he announced it. I saw it on the thing on my timeline. I contacted Joe and I said, I guess he passed it. I'm going to invite him back on the show. I got sick, so Joe did the show first. But, having him back on the show, it created it all again. So she decides she's going to go her words, quote unquote, do some, deep research on me to find out who I really am. And all the bitch did was Google me. Okay. And all the stuff that she got was stuff that, again, haters that I have put out there about me. Didn't do any research because the articles that she posted about me, the person that originally wrote them is now friends with me, did a public apology to me about the articles that he put out there because he listened to a family member of mine who didn't like that I was in ufology or paranormal and decided to try to trash me. So, to put things up, if that's how you are as a researcher, then it really makes me question now the stuff she's putting out.
I got you too.
You kind of know a little bit what it feels like. She feels like, her honor is being trashed here. She, from her point of view, she's trying to correct a wrong but
what have I done to her? Other than call her a hater. That's all I do.
A cat fight because you're on the opposite side of her argument.
I don't talk to her.
Nobody's immune to it.
I don't talk to her.
I can't defend her going off on you like that. I mean, I'm not
going to.
Well, again, I mean,
that's my
You've
thing.
gotten yourself into a cat
like
fight.
any other guest on the network, whether it was you or me or any other guest that we would have on, we have guests on that people don't agree with. So they don't usually attack me. They usually attack the guest. Sasha
or the show.
Out of her way to attack, and she went out of her way to attack me on my Facebook page. So I said, if that's the way you want to play, Sasha, I got lots of goods on you, girl. You must forget we've been knowing each other a long time, and I know lots of your damn friends. And several groups that she's been canned from, including ICAR. That's like 5 in 10 years. So, I mean, if she wants to get nasty about this, we will. But all I was doing was inviting on a guest who I had done voice dress with in the past and had done in the future and talked to him about the polygraph. But I was more interested in the new movie coming out about Rendlesham. So I wanted to know what
to know about the polygraph.
I'm not even going to lie. I was hoping, that we'd get some play in it because we're the ones that are debuting it. But, she's going to go out of her way to attack me and it's nonstop. I mean, she'd dedicate a whole blog to me, which, by the way, I just turned in today because she's using our audio, which is illegal. She's using copyrighted material, audio and video.
Like I said, I just think this is so childish.
Yeah, but come on, man. Hang on. I got to bitch at Joe about copyright for just a second. Joe, I mean, basically, you've got it published out on multiple different formats. It's on YouTube, everything. You can't complain about somebody using it.
Actually, I most certainly can. It says you have to have the explicit use of the station to use it. So I most certainly
the NFL.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, we got a lot of material. We got 30,000 archives out there.
That's just like if you go and download something from, say, CBS or something, and you upload it, and they don't want you to download it and upload it onto your channel, they can copyright it, and it's coming down. Period.
Yeah,
that happens all the time.
On every Spaced Out radio we get, I get hit. I got to take songs off their shows and all because they got a good show, but they use music. YouTube is strict as hell on copyright. And look,
go get you a copyright lawyer and try to sue somebody in another country.
I got to do all of that. I got to just turn it into Microsoft. Microsoft will remove it from the site. That's all that is. They're the one that owns the.
Joe, don't be like everybody else in this field, throwing around shaking lawyers and crap at each other. That's never going to happen.
Nobody said anything. A lawyer.
You don't need a lawyer for this. This ain't something you need a lawyer for. I wrote to them the other day, and they told me just send them the links to where the material came from, and they would have it removed. But for some reason, when I was publishing the links the other day, it kept saying that there was something wrong. It wouldn't accept the link for some reason or another. That was trying to publish off of SoundCloud, then Podbean, it just kept kicking it out. So when I get some time later today or tomorrow, I'll go back and do it again. But look, you want to talk shit, that's fine. Everybody can talk crap, and there's lots of crap I can talk about her.
Well,
I just don't understand why she's going to
attack. Well, let's get back to Larry on all of this, because I just think it's kind of funny that here's a guy who met John Lennon once. He says he hung out with Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it just seems really weird that he met all these people once or twice or whatever, and John Lennon's like, you know what, dude? Larry, I think you're an awesome guy. Here's a bunch of my old clothes. And Stevie Ray Vaughan was like, you're awesome, dude. Here's a guitar that I used on stage. And that Jimi Hendrix apparently thought he was pretty cool and just gave him a bunch of crap, too.
But who cares?
He all sells this stuff after they're dead. I mean...
But who cares?
On that particular...
Who cares? I mean, if he's selling fake crap, he's a liar. But maybe
you don't know... Wait, hold on, Jason. I'll let you finish in a second. I got a good friend of mine, Kevin, who's a roadie. He's worked for Metallica, Guns N' Roses. He's got lots of their shirts, lots of their gadgets, lots of their stuff. So I don't know if you can say he couldn't get it, because Kevin's got memorability for every band he's ever worked for, and not just that, he's got autographs and all kind of stuff. So usually groups like that are pretty laid back when you're with them. Now, was he there? I don't know what capacity, Jason, so I can't justify either way. But I can't say that he couldn't get his hands on it, because that kind of stuff happens all the time. And as far as meeting multiple groups, hell, I've met multiple groups, and I'm not even a big music fan. Hell, you probably
right there. For example, look, was it like 10 or 20 years ago that someone bought a storage unit that the rent had gone out on, and it was
that was pretty good, actually.
Memorabilia.
Right.
So that shit happens all the fucking time.
Right.
People come across stuff.
And I don't even mind about all of this.
Whatever story you want behind it, doesn't matter.
Like I asked Sasha, I said it doesn't prove anything about Rendlesham.
Right.
It just doesn't.
And that's all I cared about.
It doesn't pertain to Rendlesham. And then apparently, the people to be out there, because there's a couple of people interested in Larry, and they're not interested in Holt or the other one. So he must be the more interesting or the more convincing of the witnesses. So
no, I don't even know if that's the case, Joe, because the thing is what I notice in this field is that it's constantly filled with drama. But the attention you get, whether it's positive or negative, and especially if it's negative, it fuels people to want to interview you more, because everybody's into the drama. Everybody wants to know what's going on. Everybody wants to hear the sides. And so he gets a lot of attention. But the thing is that the people who don't want him to get all this attention,
But wait,
David
and
Young,
who does he got to
Sasha,
thank
and
for the
everybody.
attention?
But that's what I'm
Sasha.
saying. That's what I'm saying. They are the ones that continue to fuel this. She continues to keep him relevant.
I know.
So the more
She's
that she puts stuff
she's
out,
probably
the
one
more
that got
it fuels
into
it.
deal.
And I agree with you on that. I mean, it is kind of a self-sustaining fire here, and I mean, a lot of it has churned in. I mean, it's always been kind of a clash of egos, and you got one person saying that another person's a liar. And
Right.
like so much, and you've been around this field. I mean,
Right.
you see it a lot. Like when I said about the lawyers, what I see all the time is people talking about suing everybody and counter suing everybody.
And
but you
nobody's
know the
gonna do
truth that
anything.
everybody in this field is broke and can't afford
Right.
no damn lawyers.
Absolutely. And the thing is, too, is that everybody is all around the world. And unless you're in that own state, you got to go where they are. You got all that. So it's not even worth it. But again, the thing is that when you're putting stuff out, because again, I personally don't have a view on Sasha one way or another. My only thing was the only thing I was concerned with my show was the Rendlesham Forest incident. I didn't give a crap about the memorabilia stuff, because again, if they would have brought me anything showing me that there's charges pending or there's an actual investigation, like we checked all this out and couldn't find anything, but yet, and she's always posting, oh, I just sent, the police are going to love this to add to the case and everything. And it's like, shut up and stop freaking lying when you call Larry a liar, but you're putting so much bullshit out there. So what are you? And it's just ridiculous because it never stops. It's like tit for tat, and these damn egos in this field, because I'll say, Larry's rough around the edges and he says some shit he definitely shouldn't say. And he makes people mad, but she's just as petty and vindictive. So when he says something, she just can't not comment back. She's got to put a big blog out, and she's got to try to make everybody think that, that she's the victim and everybody's just attacking her. And, like I said, I'm here to say I didn't give a crap about anything about the memorabilia. The only thing I wanted to know was he telling the truth or lying about Rendlesham Forest. All I cared about. So for her to go on the attack on me, try to dig up dirt, try to, she's pulling stuff up that people wrote in 2014 saying that I was about to be arrested and go to jail. She said that, in this article, these people said,
stuff.
Yeah, they were saying that, I was on the run from the FBI. I was a serial killer. I had sold haunted statues on the black market, and I was underground, but yet I'm at all these conferences and on live stream everywhere. And, oh, you're going to tell me the FBI and police can't find me? If you're going to put crap out there like that, at least you should read it. At least research and see if it's true. She should have dug a little bit deeper, just because somebody doesn't like me. If I don't like Sasha, I could go out right now. I know all of the sites to do it on. I could go and just make up some stuff and say I believe it to be true and put it out and just absolutely trash everything about her, and people would believe it just because I put it out there. But why would I do that? But that's what she's doing. And that's my only issue. She didn't have to come after me. If she would have done that, I've never said anything else after these shows. I just move on to the next guest and move on to the next topic. These shows aren't personal for me. It made it personal when I have somebody who I have no idea who they are, never talked to them, other before the show, didn't know anything about them or even Larry till 2 days before my show. And now this is now I'm one of their targets just because I've done now a second show on him. I mean, this is ridiculous, but hey, if she wants a war, I'm more than happy to do it. Not a problem.
See, but I'd say just let it go. Don't let if you know how bad it is if you let things in this field personally get to you. And
I think it's funny.
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say you're unjustified or anything. But
let me interrupt y'all for a minute. Can y'all
really need more of that? Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that you have to ruin.
But Jason, there's only so much poking that you can
Rendlesham.
do.
I mean,
but she's out there.
I have to agree with you on that, Jason. It's hurting.
We're all arguing about
right.
it.
But she's out there trashing my personal name and my show and me being a host and all these different things and putting out things that are not true, that she has not been able to verify. And believe me, you think that, since 2004, you think over 4 years, and this actually, those are old, that started in 2006. But do you really think that since 2006, if any of the stuff was true, I would be in jail and behind bars?
Can y'all?
Hey, look.
Right.
y'all
From her
see
point
this,
of
guys?
view, she's
Before y'all-
pissed. You're pissed. From her point of, I ain't saying it's
Everybody's
right.
pissed,
I'm just
man.
saying this
That's
is how it
the
is. From her point of view, you gave her enemies a platform to trash her from. So,
But I
you're one
offered
of them.
her. But I offered her a platform as well to put up her side. Just because she said no, that's not my freaking fault.
Well, she already considered you a bitch. Of course, she was gonna say no.
Well, she was the hey. She's called me much
Yeah,
worse.
but Jason,
than
that's
bitch,
no reason for her to tell me no. I asked her. I said, "Look, I said I know you're upset with Christina. Why don't you come on my show?" I said,
Yeah.
"Larry hasn't been on my show yet. Why don't you come on my show and you can dispel whatever you need to?" No, she goes and writes a freaking blog about me. She deserves whatever she gets from this point.
And to say that none of
I
us
ain't been
gave
nothing but
offered her
nice to
any
Sasha, man.
airtime is
you gotta
bullshit.
say I ain't been nothing but nice to Sasha. So anyway, can y'all see this? This is one of our Stream Butler things that shows some of our streams. These are like shoutcast streams. I just wanted to see if y'all could see them. I was trying to make
No, I can't really see that, Joe. It's like 2 inches by 1 inch on my screen.
I can see it, but you have it too much better. You have it too much.
Figure out a better way. Well, I want because some of these I can post like this one because these are from Stream Butler, so it just shows who's logged in at the moment. So it's kind of cool when you can see it because you can see everybody moving and everything moving.
Oh, you're lying about that too because we don't have those kind of listeners.
Wait.
We don't have those stats.
Wait. I love it. Now, this tells me what kind of researcher this dumbass is right off the bat. She writes this thing saying, "Well, he's not on 107.7. Look, it's on this list. It's not on this list." So, guys, if you're listening to me right now, just type in 107.7 New Orleans and see what comes up. Very first thing you're going to see is United Public Radio. I mean, obviously, she didn't even bother typing it in a freaking search engine.
And then Joe, just recently, she just had posted where she was mad at you because you had called her something on air. And so she said she was going to the FCC and she was reporting you so that you would get a $250,000 fine for every time you said the F word. And so, I mean, if you're not a real network, why would, she couldn't be able to call the FCC on you. If you were just a little internet, stream like on Spreaker only, and that's the only place we were at, it would be a little bit different.
And I've told her this before. We set up this, it would have originally been called a neighborhood network. Now it's called a college network.
See, but I always give Joe's nightmares about that because I'm pretty sure I've dropped the F-bomb at least once or twice already.
Yes, actually. And thank God, by the way, we got the 7-second delay, but it don't always work, by the way, because I have gotten... This is so weird the way they do this. You think you get a letter. Oh, no, you get a phone call. You get a phone call, and it says such and such, and then they give you a name, and they give you a department, and then they said this complaint was levied for this word. Now, if it's an archive, they can go back and listen, but it doesn't matter. The only time the curse word matters is if it's strictly on the airways. Everywhere else, YouTube might get a little offended sometimes, but everywhere else, it doesn't matter. You can curse.
Hold on, Jeff.
People need to stop being offended whenever someone else says the word fuck.
That's true.
Look, I'm watching. See, he did that, and I'm watching this. Wait, y'all can't give me see this.
Now
I'm
we're
going to
gonna
figure out
get
where y'all can see this little light when it starts flashing. I don't even know
See,
how.
now I'm
going
to have to just like start talking and randomly throw
simpler.
something in they're not expecting, like fuck knuckles.
I don't think. I think as long as you don't do like 5 or 10 in a row or something, I think you're okay. Because I seen it flash when you said it just now, and it somehow or another, and actually I noticed the delay got longer recently. So maybe it's taken a little bit more time to recognize it. Because it used to be about 7 seconds, but I was on one of the servers yesterday. It was about a 26-second delay, which sucks if y'all are listening to us live because you're calling in sometimes. We done finished the topic and moved on to something else. So, guys, look, the best places to listen to us these days, if we're live, is on YouTube, Spreaker. There's a lot of other live venues, but you know what? I made it easy for everybody because we used to get complaints about how hard it was because we had so many ways to listen to us. So now all you have to do is go to any of our websites. When you click on the website, guess what it does? It starts playing. There is a box there so you can turn it off because I personally hate websites that play stuff without you turning it on. That's why it took me so long to do it. I hate going to a website and there's noise to it instantly when I go on. It aggravates the shit out of me. But it's there, so y'all can go. The little box, you'll see the little gray box. Just click. Pause if you don't want to listen to it, and away you go. If you want to listen to, on another venue, Shoutcast, one at whatever, 5 million. I say this all the time, and I know y'all hear me say this all the time. If you can't find us, you ain't looking for us because we're on iTunes, iHeart, YouTube. We're everywhere. 20, almost 30 archive sites now, Podbean. But more importantly than that,
and there's our host Joe Montaldo promoting himself.
Yes, he is. I got you. I own a damn network. I got to promote myself.
Well,
what the hell?
I like something that somebody in chat just said to Lynn said, I'm wondering how a polygraph can't be trusted, but Google can. That's priceless.
Well, you don't trust
I
Google.
typed in
You click on the
107.7 New
results
Orleans.
that Google
Google search
gives
came up
you,
with
and you trust the source of the information from there. That's how Google and the internet works, lady.
Hey, look, you know how that goes. If you find it.
Yeah.
What did you say?
But look, all right. Back to the drama for a second.
Wait,
Me
man. Joe,
personally-
say what he was saying, then you can go into the drama.
I can't even hear him talking, dude.
Joe, say something.
He was low.
Because all you niggas got shit in your ears. That's why.
It's still, baby. Oh, God, I wish Jason would have been with us when we went to Utah. Maybe we could.
I said that I typed in 107.7 New Orleans in the Google search.
Yeah.
United Public Radio is number one on the list.
One list.
That's
Yeah, I know.
73,000 results.
What do you
I
know?
never took the time to look it up. It's,
Yeah, but who believes Google?
Well, that's true. It don't matter which one you use.
No, look, y'all.
Touche.
Look, with the drama and everything, I just
did
want
my
to see where
research.
I'm
I
personally
did a
at.
That's
search on
right.
Google.
That's right.
You're gonna challenge somebody on that. At least go look and make sure before you make an ass out of yourself. It's like when she told me the other day, well, y'all ain't got any listeners. Guys, on SoundCloud, we're just going to talk about SoundCloud for a minute. 1.7 million archive plays, 500,000 downloads. Podbean, 1.7 million downloads. I mean, plays, almost 600,000. I mean, just those two sites is almost 5 million listeners. What the hell? I mean, I know that ain't no listeners, but obviously, Sasha, you need to get off the crack, girl. I mean, and these are all public. And wait, more than that, you can go look at SoundCloud. Between 50 and 100,000 people a week visit it everywhere. It even puts it up there where you can see it. So it's easy. Just this week on Facebook alone, 40,000 visitors between our three primary pages. And you can go look for that. It's published itself. So, I mean, it's like you're going to attack me, but you're not even going to go bother to look before you attack me. I mean, it made her look really, really, really bad.
It makes her
because
look
all
like
this
she's
stuff's
just
public.
vindictive. That's what it makes her look like.
does.
And she's just throwing stuff out.
She's still mad at me because I let
Look,
Stephanie fire.
honestly,
That's,
I
you know
do
what?
think
That's
she
what it
needs to
really
chill
is.
on that
Still
aspect a little
mad
bit.
at me because I let Stephanie fire. That's what the problem is.
No, let Jason
Coming
finish.
from, she's feeling like she's being caged in and surrounded by enemies everywhere. She needs to just chillax about it a little bit.
Why
I mean,
Right,
it's-
because if she's
enemy out of
posting
it?
stuff, they're going to continue. People are going to continue going back and forth. I mean, she's going to continue this drama until she stops talking about it. If she really doesn't want to make
Well, here's
Larry
the thing.
relevant,
Both sides are simple. But what the Warren side,
sides
they're
are
taking their
out there
pot
keeping it
shots
going.
and they're talking shit too. All it's doing is muddying the entire case and making
Right.
people that look at it from the outside think it's a bunch of drama-filled bullshit, which they may not
Which
be
it
wrong.
is.
But here's where it is for me personally, all right? I'm kind of caught in the middle between two of my friends that have gotten into a pissing contest here somehow. And
I do
Christina, I
apologize.
mean, I don't have any hatred on you because I think because we're on different sides in the supposed war. I mean, I don't have any reason to hate on you personally.
well, thank you.
I hate you
I've been
for
in a
picking a
similar
side.
position with. I've been in a similar position with you, Jason, and actually with two people that used to be on this network. Like one, like the former like host of Second Sight Radio, Chris George, like not to be confused with Christina George.
Thank you.
But Chris and I are
Yeah.
still friends. We're still friends.
Yeah,
and he would be back
yeah,
on the
and I-
network. I just didn't have a place for him. That's the only reason he's not back. Christina stole
Because
his
the better
spot,
Christina
so-
has the spot. That's why.
She stole his spot, so there was
Yeah,
nothing I could
well-
do about it.
Yeah, well, anyway, like because it wasn't until like several months or maybe a year after listening to his show that I learned about like this whole tension between him and Stephanie Benetti, and honestly, like I feel like I was caught in the middle of them because I think one time
Yeah,
I
that
had a
did
call
kinda
with
suck.
Stephanie and like she wanted me to like say like how to tell him like tell her how Chris was doing and then just like I just
Yeah, it's a
I
tough
don't-
thing to be in the middle of. No,
Such
you
a
look-
big-
Want to be
Yeah, I
caught
don't-
up in that kind
yeah,
of drama,
right.
right?
and you don't, and you know what? A lot of people didn't because there was a lot going on back then, and we were in the middle of late and starting out new shows, and there was
And
the
Joe,
network-
you know good and well as everybody who knew her did, that Stephanie was a bitch that lived
But wait.
for the drama.
Okay, but you're right. But everybody told me that about Steph, but everybody told me about that about Sasha too. So I'm gonna have to say I'm wrong in both cases here, which I don't like being wrong.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They both had alpha
Yeah.
personalities.
Right,
dude.
I was
That's
just going to
gonna
say that,
happen.
Right,
Jason, and
right,
that's
they did.
that's
Exactly.
exactly what it is, and that's exactly why they have very, very strong personalities, and so when
And
they
Sasha
feel that
ain't
they're
afraid
being
of shit.
attacked,
She ain't gonna
that's-
back down.
That's right.
You know,
And
but as
I'm
long as
actually
she maintains a blog about me, I'm gonna keep attacking her.
right. And I'm gonna say
And
I'm
it's
the
just gonna
same
get
way.
worse as it accelerates.
I can be very,
Yeah,
you know,
but
like,
here's a,
go ahead.
no, I don't think attacking like someone that attacks you really makes things any better. Like there's actually this phrase that I've heard a while back called like the dog barks but the caravan moves on. So like pretty much like ignore all like the stuff that's thrown at
Jason can
you
attest to this. 99 and 9/10 of the time, I don't get involved. Even when I get attacked, I usually just ignore it because most of the time, ignoring it is the best way to handle it because it just makes the other person look like an ass. And I got to be honest about this. I don't usually attack anybody for attacking me, but when you attack my host and my station and the organization, you asking for a fight. And frankly, when I get pissed, I get nasty. I'm not, you know, and Sasha knows this. She's seen me get into it way back when with some people. So I don't even know why she would risk getting into a fight with me, especially knowing what I know about her.
Well,
I
just
just
the thing about the entire
I don't even know why she did that.
Everybody wants to run around like there's some great researcher bringing the truth out there, but quite honestly, drama sells. Drama gets hits. Drama gets memes. Drama gets people listening to your shit. And that's
and to make Jason's point even better for him, go look at the last couple of shows with Larry Warner and look how well they've done.
Right, the one I just did last on Thursday.
Well, the one I took down was what? It was at 18,000 plays in less than 3 days on SoundCloud. I had to take it down because of a thing in the middle of it, but
and mine had like over 7,000 within the first 24 hours. Yeah, I mean there were 7,000
right now. We're sitting between 10 and 7,000. I mean, there's a lot of. It's true. I mean, it's drama sells, and people want to hear it. And what happens is Larry's telling his people, and Sasha's telling her people, so they're all coming and listening. And this show, I guarantee you, this show does 25,000 listens this week just on SoundCloud. We're not even going to talk about the other archive sites, just that one alone.
Hey,
go ahead.
Can I make another point? Like, can I make another point? Like, you're talking about Sasha's people and Larry's people. This seems like to also like just touch upon like an even bigger issue that goes beyond like the ufology field and the paranormal field. It's just something that seems to be a problem with humanity in general. Like, it seems like we're just caught in the state of tribalism. Where like we just take all these sides, and the other side is not just somebody that we just disagree with, but like an enemy that we have to destroy. Like you particularly see this in our politics, right?
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
Just like, and like honestly, like somebody should write a book like how to get past tribalism or something like that, because honestly, that's in my mind that's the biggest problem we have. And like if we
the point Jason was making earlier is people like drama. That's the real problem. Everybody says they don't like drama, but they really do. I'd like to avoid it most of the time, but even I like to get in sometimes and have some fun. So it's something that's built. It's a primal thing in us. And,
well, also though, Joe, what happens is you end up, going back. I mean, this isn't doing anything again other than just fueling more publicity. But again, whatever this other side needs to understand is, I really personally don't carry either way. Like again, that now that I've heard, that he's passed the voice stress analysis test about Rendlesham Forest, and I can't, Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, didn't he say on the show the other night that or Gary said that when they were filming Capel Green, that they filmed the whole polygraph test, and he was asked not only about Rendlesham, but also about the memorabilia?
Yeah, I think the people who did this wanted to make sure there wasn't any funny business. And that's why I got on Sasha so hard. But I'm like, Sasha, look, they're questioning him about this, and he's passing, and you're saying this, but you don't want to go take the polygraph. And I was thinking if she would it would probably help her out. It might even help Rendlesham out. But if it stays like this, he's got the credibility as far as the media is concerned, not her. So this is only hurting her when she does this argument. And it's hurting her with you ufologists, because if you look at my page, I should say all 9 of my pages, you will see quite a few famous abductees came out hard on her ass. She shouldn't have attacked me because, it's one of the things I do in the field is counseling for this. Counseling is not the right word, but I talk to a lot of people almost every day about this. So, I mean, and she personally, we have spent tens of hours talking together. So, just like I said at the beginning of the show, there are 4 or 5 archives with me, her, Larry, and Peter. Y'all can go listen to all of them. There's several archives with just her and I talking about her experiences and what she was planning on doing in the UK. And then there's a couple of mixed things where we got some other people coming on and going back. And then there's one with Christina Knowles and I, where we're talking to her. So I just don't even know why she would I know she was mad, But look, I get mad about shit all the time. If I was attacking everybody that pissed me off, that's all I'd be doing. I mean, Lord, that's all I'd be doing.
But be mad at Larry. Don't be mad at the show host and the network and go and start personally trying to dig stuff up.
Well, I didn't think about it until Jason started talking, but she's probably mad because Stephanie canned her. Stephanie
but again,
did not like Sasha.
That might be the case. I mean, you're giving her excuses for all these things, but again, she didn't have any real reason to be mad at me. Like the only thing I said was that she was in a group of haters, and I still stand by that. I mean, she hates on him all day long. So that was the only pet peeve she had from me. She doesn't know me. She, like I said, if she would have came on the show, she'd have had an opportunity. I mean, Jason, you and I were debating, but that's what I do. Doesn't mean I hate you. Doesn't mean we got to attack each other. It just means we have different opinions, and I'm okay with agreeing to disagree.
Yeah, but the difference is Jason and I have been debating for a long time, and we stay friends. We learn to agree to disagree. Sasha hasn't gotten there yet. She won't do that. She'll just get madder, and more angry. And she's
doing this because this is ruining her.
It feels kind of like you stabbed her in the back by having him on. That's a big part of the problem with Larry. She's
not attacking everybody else that's had Larry on. Larry's been on back-to-back interviews. Why isn't she interviewing all of them? They're all supporting her.
Because there's history, and maybe it feels personal.
But there's no history with me.
Yeah. You're just being seen as a minion or another one of her faceless enemies. I don't know.
But it comes back to what we said earlier. Because of all of this, he's getting way more play. I mean, he's got interview after interview. Tino's posting them every day. I mean, he's doing. I hadn't even heard of Larry 2 years ago. I hadn't heard him anywhere. And then all of a sudden now, thanks to this, it's every week. I mean, every 2-3 days he's on the show. He's been on our network 4 or 5 times in the last 2 months. He's been on a bunch of other ones. He's hit the scene. And
they're always asking about the drama because that's what they're seeing based on that other side of what people are putting out.
Here's the irony of it all, though. It's not as big of a drama as everybody thinks it is. I mean, to the rest of the world in general, who really gives a fuck about Rendlesham? Not that many people at any given time. There are a lot of people that are into the alien field and watch Ancient Aliens and stuff. But this little particular pissing contest, there are a shockingly few amount of people that are emotionally involved on that kind of level.
I mean, with the exception of Peter,
it's not as
big. Nobody gives a damn.
Years ago that I don't give a fuck about.
Give a damn.
Right, already. Exactly.
Yeah. But
that's what I'm saying. This is so ridiculous that it's going this far, and then again, if she's attacking Larry for whatever reason, I mean, I definitely believe this is personal. I mean, anybody that supported, somebody for that long, 100% back them, everything, and then all of a sudden they just go apeshit crazy and start attacking. And it's not just, it's about anything and everything he does she hates. And so this is very personal. But if that's the case, if she just hates him, then just blog your little heart away, Sasha. But again, when it comes to me, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know shit about me. What you read about me, oh my gosh, if I had such an exciting life, it would be amazing. I actually think it's pretty damn funny. Every time somebody gets mad at me, this is the stuff they put up, and they think that they've made some revelation that's going to ruin my life. And it's funny as hell. But again,
but
all it's
really
doing is
about you, though. You're just a soldier on the opposite army out there on the field.
It shows how petty she is. So it's not even. There's not even anything behind it. She's just attacking anybody that does not agree with her or she feels is on the other side. And again, I don't give a shit. Like, I think Larry's a nice guy? Yeah. Do I know him personally enough to make that decision? No. I mean, but from the interaction I've had, yeah, he's a nice guy. Can he have a mouth on him, and can he say some things that, could be taken harshly? 100%. I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. But again, that has nothing to do with me. It's not like he's my best friend. It's not like he was a guest on my show, and then he came back because I invited him. If he was to go, I challenged him and asked him if he was going to have a lie detector.
I'd still give her airtime now. But before we get back to Sasha,
all right, let's go back in history to the story.
Wait. We're going to do that in a minute. Wait. I'm going to let you do all that in a minute. I want to get y'all's opinion on something, and then we'll come back and talk to this in a minute. Because I don't want to forget this, and if we keep talking about this, I will. I know most of y'all have seen you can now buy Bitcoin using the microchip implant. Have y'all seen the little grain of rice implant they put in your hand? so you can buy Bitcoin with it. This thing does everything, by the way. It
I'm not
measures
getting
your
anything
body
implanted
temperature.
in me.
It tracks
Never.
you GPS wise.
Man, I've been seeing like the conspiracy theory about like the whole implant thing since like the early 90s. I mean,
These are
people
kinda
would even
cool.
like print this crap out and put it on message boards like the NWO can GPS track you with this grain of rice thing in your finger. And I imagine
Oh, but
they're just
Jason,
having a field
Jason,
day
here,
over it.
no. Here in California, that's where I live. I live in Northern California, and here in California, in the Silicon
And I live in
Valley.
Southern California.
Okay, there you go. So in Silicon
I
Valley,
grew up in
there
Long
are
Beach back in the day.
okay, but right now in Silicon Valley, there are multiple companies who have agreed to. The employees have agreed to be RFID chips so that they can get into the building, they can pay for their lunch at the thing, they can do all of the stuff based on this RFID chip. I've been talking about this for a long time on my show, and people always said, oh, nobody will be stupid enough to do that. Oh, absolutely will. You know, if it's a perk and they can do it, there's a lot of people that are gung-ho on this technology. Would I ever do it? Hell no. You're not going to track me. You want to track me the old-fashioned way. Like, come get me. Obviously, I'm better than Osama bin Laden because I've been on the run from the FBI since 2006, and they still haven't caught me. So, you know, I'm pretty good at it. I don't need a tracking chip.
So, you know,
Well,
the reason I brought
personally
this
say
up,
I just don't like the
no to
idea
it
of
too,
having
I
like
mean-
some metal thing under my skin. Like,
that's
so-
kind of weird. I don't know if it's what it is actually. It doesn't look metal. It looks kind of like plexi. I don't know what the hell it is, to be honest with you.
Well,
But
Well,
what
whatever it
was
is, I
one of
don't
the
like- I
hottest
don't like having
selling
splinters on
items
my
over
skin.
the
I don't
entire
want to have-
holiday season? Personal assistants. You've got Alexa listening to every word
Yeah,
you
screw
say.
that.
yeah, we ain't getting no Alexa in my house. Alexa can stay their ass out. I don't need anything.
I don't like
recording me
Siri. I don't
24/7.
Alexa. I don't even barely like my laptop. I have a Band-Aid over my thing and
1779.
mute my microphone every time I'm using it. So, you know.
Well, yeah, the only reason I've got my camera and microphone plugged into my desktop is because I'm using it at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
exactly.
actually, when I'm not using it, it ain't plugged in either. But the reason I
Yeah,
brought
but
it
I'm
up
kind
was,
of from like a different time, though. I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people out there that they've had all this digital crap there, and I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, a cell phone was the size of a briefcase and cost like $5.99 a minute to use.
Right.
You know,
Nobody
Yeah,
can
I mean,
afford
it's
when
cool
you
that I've
could
got
get
a
one.
little computer that I can carry around in my pocket, but I don't want the damn thing snitching on me. I mean,
Right.
isn't that creepy when some shit you just talked about in a conversation, all of a sudden you're getting ads for it everywhere?
Right.
I don't like
Google gets forceful when I turn off my GPS on my phone. I start getting pings and shit. Oh, you can't do this. You can't. I know I can't do it. That's why it's turned off. And I mean, it's nonstop. It's pinging me this, pinging me that. I'm like, no, I'm not turning it back on until I'm ready. It's
Well,
a lot of
I
times.
definitely don't want Alexa
phone does
because
the same shit.
I seem to piss off females way too often. She might get pissed off and write a blog on me. She'll Google me and put what she finds.
But the reason I brought this up in the first place is I seen the Democratic senator the other day, and Jason and I had probably talked this. A couple of us have probably talked to us on the network. They want to make it law for everyone 18. In other words, when you're born, they want this chip inserted, and they're saying that it will pretty much eliminate people stealing their kids. Also, and I didn't know this, but the new ones could measure like sensitive and pressure stuff like that. So they said they could tell if a child had been abused or beat. So maybe not. My problem with all of this is, okay, yeah, it might be good to know where your kid is. It might be good enough to be beat or whatever. But can you take the damn thing out when you're 18?
Oh
I mean,
man,
weird.
one of the episodes of Black Mirror this season basically like covered that. In that episode, it was basically a chip implant that basically allows your parent to have a terminal that can basically see everything your child is doing and tell you everything about all of their physical conditioning, and they explore some of the positives and a lot of the negative drawbacks that may have. It was a good episode, good show.
So, and that's another thing that brings
Even
something
if you
else.
turn 18 and you have it removed, who's to say that there wasn't a second or a third one implanted also that you don't know about?
And that's the thing. You really don't know. I mean, that's one of the things we're not going to know, and we're going to have to figure out some way to scan it or something. Because I mean, it's not a bad idea for kids. I mean, we put them in our dogs. We put them in prisoners. We just, right now the normal population just don't want them. They're like, no. And then the thing they're trying to sell them on is, and I noticed this to the millennials especially, and even the Z-Gen, they're saying that you can pay with stuff with it. So instead of carrying your credit card, it'll even have like your driver's license information and all this.
That was actually predicted over 30 or 40 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That people in
The
this day and
market
age
of
would
beast.
have, basically chips in them that would allow them to basically walk into a store, You fill your basket with all your shit and you walk out with it. And as you walk out, everything is scanned and instantly taken out of, your credit account via the chip in your arm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now you don't even have to leave. I mean, you just order your groceries, have them sent home, pay for it online.
Yeah.
See, but I'm going to be that last asshole out there counting out money to pay for things.
It's mandatory, biatch. It's mandatory.
Like, what is that? It's called a nickel.
Now, before we get back to what we were talking about, I also wanted to bring this up because I thought this was funny yesterday. I read this. So a guy goes out to Las Vegas, right? He decides he's going to buy some Bitcoin because he found this place where this coffee shop that takes Bitcoin. So he wants to see how it works. So he puts in $10. He's going to buy some Bitcoin. Okay, nothing happens. He's like, what the hell? So he puts in a couple more dollars thinking he didn't cover the fee. Nothing happened. So he said, to hell with it. He went back to his hotel. He calls the company, and the company says, oh, no, sir. There is a $50 mining fee to buy a $10 Bitcoin. $10 of Bitcoin. I shouldn't say a coin, but $10 of Bitcoin. There's a $50 mining fee. Well, when you go to the store to use it, if you're only going to use like $5 or $10, there's a $40 fee. I'm like, Bitcoin is not going to make it, man. There's no way I'm paying $120 for a hamburger.
Here's the whole thing about it. It's going to be, cryptocurrency is going to be around for a while, but like a lot of things, if you're getting into it now when everybody else thinks it's a good idea and putting money into it, you should have got into it earlier, so don't bother.
Should have got into it 5 years
I wish I'd have started mining some when it was brand new, because I've always had a computer that, quite frankly, was a beast. I could be rich. I could be a millionaire.
I know. I wish I thought I got how many in here right now? Lord, man, I could be Bitcoin. I might even put some on just because I got this many in here.
I just always thought it seemed kind of shady.
A company offered me today it's to run 4 of my computers. They'll give me 0.25 a day, whatever that is. Is that a tenth of a coin or 2% of a coin? I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. It said 0.25. If you have 4 computers, it's 0.10 if you've got 1 computer or something. But I'll have to show y'all the link I got. I still got it on my
Although I could take advantage of the mining craze, because oh my god, in the PC hardware world, the mining craze, you cannot, if you're a video gamer and you just want a decent GPU, I mean, one that should have retailed for about $200, I don't know, a year and a half ago, now it's doubled in price. I mean, it's $1,200 for a 1080 Ti. I mean, it's gotten ridiculous because the GPU manufacturers, they're all being snapped up by the Bitcoin miners. I mean, have you seen those rigs, dude? People with like as many GPUs as you can buy crammed into a single system on as many power supplies as you need to run it. It's really hurting the hardware. I mean, like I said, prices are like basically triple of what video. It's a horrible time to buy a computer right now. RAM prices are like triple what they were. It's just retarded. Hell, I was looking because I got to get the video card I got in this one. I paid $200 for it, like in 2014. Miners will pay me about $5 for it now, used. You know, it's just. I didn't realize until recently, but people have been asking to use it. But I don't know how they know how many computers I got. Because SETI hit me the other day because I run SETI on 7 computers, and out of the 12. And it's funny, but they hit me up the other day about the computers that weren't on the network. I'm like, how the hell I got these computers? Because I'm not using them other than they're Shoutcast. They're like mini servers like Shoutcast and stuff like that. They only run one application because they're old single core XP computers that are junk. And they run. It would cost more electricity to mine with those than the cryptocurrency they make would be worth. Because I started changing over to 6 and 8 cores, so I can limit. So I don't have to have 14 computers anymore. With 6 and 8 cores, I can run the station really comfortably with about 6 really good computers. So still got Pentium Ds and shit running. Oh no, I do actually. I think I do got an old Pentium D and an old Dell. I
feel like you guys are speaking Chinese right now.
Oh yeah, we just do a lot of computers. Jason and I build a lot of computers.
I know nothing about computers.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, Christina. Like a lot of this computer talk is way over my head. And in fact, me and Joe turned into a car show. What's up?
Yeah. At least I don't feel okay. I don't feel so bad now. But I'm telling you, I'm like, I hate computers. They don't work well with me. I don't work well with them. So all this is like Chinese to me. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Wrote in, Carol Serra's. Oh hell, I lost it. Where did it go? Hold on. Come back to this book. Damn it. Where did it go? Carol Severs wrote in and was saying she has the chip in her hand. And she says you don't feel it. You don't even know it says. She says if you squeeze between your fingers, you can feel it if you squeeze hard enough. She said, but I don't even know it's there. And she said the only thing she don't like about it's got all her credit card information on it. And it's fine. She likes to use it to pay, but she realized if you've got one of them card scanners, you can scan her hand and still get her numbers.
I'm sure they can find a way to hack it. I mean, again, and would you want some kind of computer chip in you that maybe somebody can hack? Like they can hack and take over your damn computer, your accounts, everything. You think like, shoot, before you know it, they'll put something in and it'll hack us. So I'm good. Nobody, never going to happen.
A couple of attempts at that. They've been a couple of people now that have had chips put in their head. It was the first guy. He had the chip put in his head and it stayed in for 6 months, and it did actually record some memories. I don't remember how much. And then there was another guy in the UK did it, and he did it for a little bit longer. But what they're trying to figure out, and we've talked about this a million times on this network, is they're trying to figure out is a way to download the consciousness, maybe onto a disk, maybe onto a hard drive or something, and then re-upload it into a new body. Now, it's something we should be able to do.
There's a Netflix show coming up just about that.
So,
is it called like Altered Carbon? Because I think there's
Altered Carbon.
That's a Netflix movie, I believe.
And I saw somebody sharing it the other day on social media, and they were saying, "Oh my gosh, it's finally here! Look at this! Is at one of the electronic conferences." And I was like, I had seen that on the preview on Netflix, and I remembered seeing the scene, so I went and like looked it up and pulled up the preview on YouTube and put it down. But so many people, again, here you go, somebody saw that, they posted it, and like all the people on their page were like, oh my gosh, I knew this was coming, I knew it was going to happen, I knew they were doing it behind our backs. And like, no, people, it's a movie, but I mean, it's coming. I mean,
movie people. Well, there's a lot of this weird stuff on the front. You know, I was watching the U.S. is struggling with allowing us to design our babies. Some of the European countries look like they're going to go ahead and do it.
That's crazy.
So,
if anybody's going to clamp down on some crap like that, it's those touchy-feely EU governments.
No, they're allowing it, especially the Scandinavian countries. They already did a thing where they're going to go ahead and allow some limited testing. But if, and I could be wrong in this, guys, but if I heard it correctly today, what they said this is going to start off with science. So they're going to try to do gene therapy when the mother's pregnant. To eliminate certain diseases and certain things. They're going to see how that works. If that works out well, then they said there's psychological things that can also correct pre-birth. So they're going to do that. Basically, what they're saying is within 100 years, everything we consider to be abnormal in humans will no longer be there. Most diseases will be gone, bad. I don't know who's going to make up their mind on what we consider good and bad. And
but what if I want my baby to be an evil genius?
That's right. Wanted to be just like me.
And I'm sure there'll be people that opt to have their children, natural, I guess. And I'm sure there'll be people that won't be able to afford but to have natural. I'm sure in the very beginning.
Well, that's where the problem's going to come is when that line between the have and the have-nots. I mean, why does one kid deserve to live a lifetime of pain and suffering just because their parents couldn't afford some little gene therapy?
And I
what
agree
about
with
that. What about that guy that's splicing his own DNA with the CRISPR system?
That's on him.
Turned out like a theory from Family Guy.
With the DNA altering, splicing thing that they create.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
I think I've heard about it, though I haven't really looked that much into it. But
I read a whole article.
Yeah.
What bothers me
for a lot, though.
Well, what bothers me about all of this gene stuff is what is going to be considered good and bad behavior. All the diseases, they're going to correct that. I don't have any problems with that, genetic mutations and stuff. I think that's all good to be corrected. But when we start talking about affecting personalities, like one of the guys the other day said, well, we don't have to have gay people anymore. That can be bred out. He said, we don't have to have a lot. He said, we don't have to have criminals anymore. That can be bred out. Yeah, okay, so we're going to become
we're going to be robots.
Society. Well, that's
we're going to be android robots.
That's not going to work for me. I mean, nope. I don't like seeing crime myself, but, I think we need to keep some originality here.
I don't want to live in a society where everybody's the same boring piece of crap,
That would just get old.
Well, see,
And
I
also,
was
I think-
already in here I am starting to feel old again. It's like I was already in high school when they started like putting all the elementary age kids on Ritalin for ADHD.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
became a big thing. And well, a lot of that was one, the school gets more money because they're not just teaching a student. Now they're teaching a special needs student.
Right.
So
Right.
cha-ching, individual school gets more money every day because of that. And of course, the pharmaceutical industries and the doctors, I mean, you don't just need the medicine for ADHD. I mean, you need the psychological appointments, you
Yeah,
need
everything.
counseling, you need therapy. It's like everything else in society. Once something becomes a moneymaker, it's pushed upon you whether you want it or not.
And that's where we are in society. Everything I mean, there's so many diseases I guarantee they could have cured, but why cure them? There's way more money in the treatment. Look at AIDS. We've successfully been treating AIDS
And
now
the
for a
doctor gives
decade.
you free trials of medications to try out until they find one of them.
Yeah,
that
but
works
you know
for
what? I listen to some of these commercials with these side
Oh,
effects.
I've been
and
a
I'm
type
thinking,
1
really?
diabetic since I was 10 years old, and a cure has been a couple of years away for forever.
Right.
But you know what, Jason? They did cure hepatitis C, so maybe they might. I mean, I'm not saying they're the same thing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. No one ever thought they would cure hepatitis C. They do have a cure now. It's $90,000 for the shot, by the way, but there are ways you can get it. So, I mean, they may one day do it, but I just, you know, I'm with y'all. I mean, as long as it's profitable, why not treat it?
Cure
instead
for
of
all the
cure it?
tweakers out there when I'm like stuck here with a busted pancreas.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they really need to concentrate on curing things and not just prolonging the agony, and maybe that's not the right term, but I mean, they deliberately let things drag on. I mean, if we would throw as much money
You said it right.
you know, I mean, if we throw as much money at the military as we do for at cancer, shit, we'd have cured cancer a decade ago, or that many scientists. If we would put the money and the scientists that we put in developing state-of-the-art military, everything would be cured. And there wouldn't be an excuse for half of what goes
again,
on.
for a while, we actually had a big reduction in military spending. So I'm not sure that's really a
we
good
did,
analogy.
but it wasn't diverted towards helping us. It was diverted to give money to other countries and help pay off bribes for our president, our ex-president. That's all that was. I never did understand that because I couldn't understand how we cut the military budget by $300 million and ended up spending $12 trillion in 8 years. Well, what the hell were we spending? We weren't spending it on the military, so what the hell were we spending it on?
Yeah, emergency wartime spending doesn't count. That's money that you need it now, or else the troops.
And we were out of Iraq. We were only in Afghanistan. So somehow or another, where George Bush spent $3 trillion on 2 wars, he spent $12 trillion on one half-ass war. I'm confused by that whole thing. Some money went somewhere we just don't know about, people. That's the only thing I can say. I don't know who got it, what got it, where it went, but obviously $12 trillion is a lot of money. And I couldn't tell you where it went. It didn't go to research. It didn't go to development for new. He only put up $2.2 billion for research
into the secret space program. We've got a whole Starfleet.
It might have gone to DARPA or somewhere like that. Can't rule that out for sure. It went somewhere.
Yeah, because
guys.
they did come out. They did come out with that like UFO, that secret UFO program that they said they shut down a couple years ago. Like,
yeah, but they put $12 million. I mean, it was some small amount of dollars. That's what it costs to change the oil in a Humvee nowadays.
All right. Hey, what did you guys think about that meteor over Chicago? I mean,
it was a meteor.
Yeah, well, you see, some people are saying it was a meteor. Some of them were saying it was space debris. Other ones, they were saying it was a bowline meteor or whatever. I was seeing people posting. I was watching the live stream of the local news yesterday. I guess they said it's going to probably be like a what they say, like a super or a mega bowline meteor or whatever. And somebody even thought that they found a fragment today of it.
Yeah.
I've seen a conspiracy crowd latch onto it and say it wasn't a meteor, it was a directed energy weapon.
Yeah, the DEW weapon. If I see
I've
that
already heard crash UFO, and I've heard all kind of stuff about it. I mean, I seen it. We carried it the first day, but what the hell it is, I haven't.
Well, some guy who claims to be a photographer posted, and it came across my timeline last night. And so there was 3 pictures. And so one was this red beam that was coming straight down into the ground. The second one was a straight beam with this big gigantic explosion with the town in the background, or the city in the background. And There was another picture of it. Oh, and then a picture of a bunch of fire trucks and stuff fighting some kind of fire.
Yeah, I
And
saw those too today.
did you see it? Yeah, and so people were saying, oh, that this is the DEW weapon. They said the same thing when the Napa fires happened.
What connects them with the meteor other than they happen around the same time? Probably. I don't see the connection. And then they start throwing in the directed energy weapon, and I'm like,
well, NASA said that it blew up and came down in a bunch of little like quarter-sized pieces. I mean, if they were hot,
but this is like, this picture though, Joe, is like a straight beam. It's like this red beam that comes down through the clouds straight down into the ground below, and then it shows like this big explosion. If there was an explosion that bad, it looked like, dropping a bomb. I mean, this was like a big explosion at the bottom of this. And
you'd have heard about that from somewhere else, right?
Oh yeah, you would have heard somewhere else. Did
NASA know about the meteor going to impact?
A picture of a light pole one time and had a bunch of
that was great.
Experts convinced it was an energy beam.
Oh God, that was
There you go.
Where were we in Texas? We were at the Texas conference.
Yeah, we were at Glen Rose.
Yeah, we were trying to.
It just goes to prove.
I took those photos.
It just goes to prove though, you can put anything up, and you will get people, whether it's true or not, that will believe it and will stand behind what somebody says just because they put it out there.
And that really is the biggest problem with this field. Give the idiots the shit they want to hear, and they will love you for it.
And that's the truth.
And nobody does that.
I'm not a big name in ufology because I won't.
I remain as the black sheep. If I get lucky and get to go places, but still, the ufology considers me the black sheep. They're so mad that I got on Ancient Aliens twice. They want to explode.
When was the second time?
They carried me. They put me on something else last year. He told me, he wrote to me not too long ago because I'm going to be on this upcoming. I think it's this upcoming season. So it's they had wrote to me and just told me it's probably like a 20-second. You know how they do. I haven't seen it, so I don't really know. I don't want to lie to you about it. But and then I've done a lot of the Midnight in the Desert and Coast to Coast, but it doesn't really matter because the stuff we're talking about is just pertains to what we're working on. I'm in this for me. I say this all the time. I'm looking for answers. I don't mind sharing some stuff. Some stuff I'm not going to share. You wouldn't believe me anyway, so it doesn't matter. But some stuff I'm going to share. And still, even when I share, like the blood type study. Okay, look. We did this as open as possible as we could. We posted the numbers to the site. We locked the damn counter thing so you could only vote one time. We made the whole thing public along with everybody who worked on it. I mean, you could even contact the doctor. So everything was way, way open. There was a lot of people that was involved. I mean, I can't remember exactly, but I think just on the website alone, it was like 36 or 38,000. I mean, you can go see it. It's still on there, so you can go look at it for yourself. And then how many of the applications that came in, which was a bunch. And the thing about it is, I mean, all we said is that for some reason, the RH negative there seemed to be more abductees in the RH negative than in RH positive, which kind of makes sense because RH negative is different than RH positive, and there's a lot of benefits to it that doesn't exist in positive. So, and it's also a mutation like green and blue eyes, which for some reason the majority of contactees have them. What bothers me about all of this is, of course, blue and green eyes make up about 3% of the world's population, and
what about if you're green eyes and left-handed like me?
Yeah, well, you can be, and then RH negative makes up about 15%. So, what
this
it looks
is the honest truth about it, though. ET doesn't sweat the details. If they like you,
they want you. They want to.
If you abduct, and I say this all the time. If you take,
I wouldn't necessarily say but let's say something like have an interest.
Right.
In
if they have an interest in you,
they want to lick the green off your ears. But the thing about it is way back whenever all this started, those are the family lines. Now, the RH negative is a fluke. We already know that it's not even supposed to exist. So it just popped up 25 or 35,000 years ago. So either ET made it or they're interested in it, whichever way it is. I don't really know because it's speculation either way. But it is there and it is going. So the two groups had to come out. One did, I think, 300 people and one did like 500 and said it completely opposite. I'm like, really? I said, guys, look, because the reason I did this is when I did the first Ancient Aliens, I brought the laptop with ICAR's database on because I got tired of people asking me about membership and this, that. So I made everything, I disclosed everything to them. So they had copies of exactly how many members we had, how many reports we had, the whole 9 yards. So I didn't have to worry about it anymore because now it's, it's public knowledge. But Still, even with the caseloads we have, and even today, when we're constantly getting new cases, people writing to us and telling us, and then some people just write in just to tell us their blood type study. So, and it's still ongoing. Even today, people are taking it, sometimes a week. So then why not just take it for what it was? I didn't say, well, let me finish. I didn't say that it made any difference or it made you any greater or any worse. All I said was, it seems like for some reason, they have a particular interest in this. So instead of everybody concentrating and maybe trying to find out why, everybody gets into a big old fight. So I just bowed out of it because, fortunately for me, like George Norrie took up for me once, and then what's his name on Savage took up for him, and not Savage, Rents, and because I was the one who originally put it out, and that was the finding. So they're kind of like, well, no, what about these findings? They're more, they're better, blah blah blah. But still, they had to start a fight over it instead of just looking into it and saying, hey, this is strange. Why is this going on? Because I was curious. I wanted to know why the hell it was going on.
Or just agree or disagree. If you disagree, then you just move on. And that's
why nothing will ever get accomplished in this field, because everybody's got to fight with each other. Nobody's willing to review each other.
It's not just getting the information out there. It's how people take this information and twist it and spin it to be whatever they want.
Absolutely.
I mean, people have taken the, green hair, green eyes, like blonde hair, whatever, and they've tried to turn that into some master race thing that, aliens don't like shady brown people. They want the master race.
Right.
I've never done a study on color. I really haven't. I've never asked if you were white, black, green, or yellow.
There is kind of a misconception out there that alien abduction is something that only happens to white people, but let's remember Betty and Barney Hill. They were the first two public contactees basically ever, and half of them were black.
Yeah,
right.
And
I know a lot of people, Hispanic and black, that have been abductees. So absolutely,
I don't think they care what race you. I
don't either.
I think there might be certain social stigmas that might make one race more reluctant to come out or talk about it. But
look at the Chinese. How many abductions? China's got 1.3 billion. Asia's probably over 2 billion. How many abduction stories do you actually hear from the Asian countries? I do hear them from time to time, but not like I do here or in Australia.
Well, that's because everybody wants to freaking be a damn star.
But part of it is, and I said this about
a big part of it is we only hear from English-speaking people because they're the only people we can easily communicate with.
Well, no, China, they speak a lot of English.
There might be some Swahili abduction journal that I have no idea exists.
Yeah, we get a lot of Spanish-speaking people. We do, but that's
I can translate.
We get some people that are drunk.
I know when I'm being cussed at in Spanish.
That's when. That's
how about people in
what's his name's got that Brazilian group down there. He's got 5,200 members. He's ICAR Brazil. He's a branch, just like the Madrid.
See, and they speak Portuguese. I'm supposed to know that too.
They speak Spanish. I got to translate. I'm not even gonna lie. So to me, it's like Lord, it takes forever to have a conversation. And a couple of them speak good English, so I'm real lucky on that. At a couple, we lost Chris Alcott, that a couple of them speak good English. But it's interesting. Oh, speaking of this, somebody sent me this. Boeing shows its vision for its new hypersonic spacecraft. This thing is cool looking. Of course, I bet you we've seen one like this. I'm assuming these are already flying.
Yeah, it looks like the same one that was going around when I was a kid, like in 1983.
Kind of looks like that jet thing that we were watching follow those craft that night that we thought was a jet. I don't know if you just go get this wind away the dodo.
The powers that be just kick my ass off.
That's weird, but guys, there's a lot that goes on.
Caught in a temporal flux anomaly.
Yeah, I would really like to see the field really pull itself together and be nice, but I got to be honest. When I first got into this, and Jason was with me in the beginning, he'd tell you, this was a fight. Abduction I got into it with all kind of people on Wake Up USA. I was pissing off ufologists left and right because I was wanting to talk about alien. Paula House wouldn't talk to me for a year because I brought up abduction with her. I had to apologize to her at what's that restaurant in Roswell in the corner right there, the little army-looking thing.
Oh yeah, and they got the little Jeep, and they're all like,
in that place. So and then that's the only way I could get it back on my show.
Look, I kind of like Roswell, but some of that overdone alien shit is just kind of kitschy.
It is a little crazy.
Yeah.
But it's fun to go. If you're into ufology, people, or paranormal, and you've never been to Roswell, it's worth taking a trip. Now, I wouldn't make it a vacation spot all the time. I'd go down for the festival, which is July 4th weekend, I believe. and go enjoy it. It's fun. I spoke there 3 times. It's a lot of fun, and just be prepared that it's a little bit cheesy, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Well, I know that we have to get ready to go, Joe, in a minute. So before I let you take us out, I just want to give, a personal message out there to Sasha. And, if she doesn't hear, which I'm sure she'll listen because she listens to every damn show I do about this. But, I am absolutely willing to let this go. We are not friends. That's okay. We don't agree. It's okay to disagree, for us to agree to disagree. It would be like, Jason, you're friends with both Joe and Sasha. And it would be like if you came on the show tonight and all of a sudden I decided, that just because you're friends with Sasha and you were sticking up for her side, that I'm going to go down, I'm going to start digging up some dirt on you and posting crap about you just because I'm upset that you came on this show and you defended her side. So, give it up, just stop. Okay. Be an adult, I'm not Larry, and this is dumb. I mean, but I'm putting it in her hands because I'm hoping that she'll be an adult. She'll take down the post. She'll get my name out of her mouth. If she wants to trash Larry, by all means, go ahead, because I'm moving forward. I'm moving past this. I'm on to the next guest next week and on to the next topic. So if this continues, it is only going to be because she continues to fuel it. And I'm making it, well known. I am not a big person on drama, but if you keep poking me when I'm trying to let it go and I'm trying to move forward and let's just be adults and move forward, fine. If you don't accept that, then girl, be prepared for a war, and I can keep it going for as long as you'd like. We could play this stupid tit for tat, see who can discredit somebody else more. Is that really what you want to do? Do you really want that kind of drama in your life? It's stupid.
That's not a fight.
So you don't like drama, but you're going to threaten to use drama.
Absolutely,
no
absolutely.
Sense at all.
Because I am not against drama. I mean, if it's out there and you have to, stand up for yourself, you will. I am no pushover whatsoever either. So again, I'm completely okay to walk away with it. I'm going to let it be in her court, whatever she wants to do. I am completely okay with letting it go. I'm completely okay with keeping it going. It doesn't really matter to me. This is so stupid. It's just ridiculous. But I'm not going to let her continue to just go out there and trash me for absolutely no reason. So that's my final words.
People talk shit about me all the time. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
well, that's you and that's me.
3 weeks.
That's right. I usually don't say anything.
And then she went on my page and talked all kind of shit. And then she dedicated a whole blog to me. Then she's sucking up with what's his name.
Yeah, that blog is fucking hilarious, man.
It is, isn't it?
Well, then she made the blog about me the very next night.
But it's like she never even bothered. She's telling me something about the United Public page the other day. I'm like, really? I mean, it says on there, Sasha, 68,729 people, 12,000 visitors. I mean, what else the hell are you looking at? I just, she gets herself in this worked up thing, and she really needs to just let it go. I mean, she wants to stay fighting. That's fine. Like I said, I can do lots of these shows. I got lots of time, but I'd rather not. I got other stuff I want to be doing. I got people I want to interview this year. I got a couple of scientists coming up. I'm kind of in science mode this year, because I'm doing some Mars stuff. So I want to get back to talking about Mars. We're doing a lot of news these days. I want to get back.
I'm just kind of like, I don't even care about Roswell or Rendlesham anymore. I mean, they're just 2 incidents that are out there and that have been beat to death. Nobody's sure about anything anymore.
Yeah. Well, they both been ruined. Roswell has been
They're nice stories, don't get me wrong. They're great to make little TV documentaries and shit about, but
to have this much drama over is ridiculous.
I mean, both cases have been out for how long now? Decades and decades. I mean, they haven't blown the doors off of ufology.
Rendlesham's what, 30 years, and Roswell 60 years. The thing of it is, there's no more witnesses alive for Roswell, so it's anybody's whatever they want to say about it. Same thing with the Betty and Barney Hill case. Rendlesham, we still got people alive, but in the United States, no one really cares about Rendlesham. I mean, Peter might, but I mean, everybody else don't. Everybody else is kind of like, yeah, whatever. We can talk about it, but I mean, it's that's the real problem. That's the death of ufology, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless it happens in your country,
but there's nothing
really
new. I mean, we're connected all around the planet.
Find out about it, then they enjoy it. It's a different story. It's something new to get excited about for a while.
But there is nothing new. That's the real problem. I haven't seen anything convincing, any good evidence for anything. I mean, everything, you're not even getting good videos right now or good photos. I'm thinking, Jesus, we got the best cameras we've ever owned in the planet. And everybody's got one and we're getting dick. I'm like, what is going on?
Maybe they're getting smarter. Maybe they don't want really. Maybe you said before like how like aliens don't seem to care like
or
if
people are getting dumber.
Know about them or not. But
True.
Maybe they actually do care and they actually don't want people knowing as much.
They might not. I mean, they could be blocking it. I'm thinking in a lot of cases it's simply because you're excited and you don't think about. And I've done this myself. I've been in the middle of something and forgot I got a camera with me. I'm not talking about my phone because I usually have one of the digital cameras with me. But I forgot. I can honestly say that. I mean, I've gotten good video. I've had stuff on sci-fi. I've had stuff on other television. But the thing about it is you don't always think about it, especially like Jason, I, and
also look at it this way. Okay? It's not just that, Joe. In the heat of the moment, taking a photo, you look at wildlife cameras, game cameras, and stuff that capture rare glimpses of wildlife that you rarely see, like snow leopards, and they initially come through as blurry photos because you're trying to capture in motion.
Yeah, well, that's true. So I mean, there's just so much of this going on. Oh, Keith, what I was talking about earlier.
I kind of got to bring it back to who really cares that much about ufology. I mean, it's an interesting sideline. It makes for good
like
TV shows on the X-Files, but the only people that really care are the people that have seen one.
Yeah, and my personal, I've never seen a UFO or had any like abduction experience, but my personal interest is not really like UFO crafts and stuff, but more so like the aliens and their culture. And I think like the closest thing to like some new thing to talk about is probably that whole like that whole Newsweek like UFO video thing with that pilot and that video that was shown. And actually like seeing that video like where he describes like a 40 foot diameter top thing. It actually like
that's all you have is the pilot's description. You can't even tell that thing is even moving.
Yeah, and the ufology crowd is like, oh, the U.S. government confirmed the existence of UFOs. The veil is broken. Disclosures happening.
Because they're idiots.
Oh, this isn't the first blurry photo taken from a plane with some military pilots saying that it happened.
My Cali friends, what is this? New California declares independence from the rest of the state. So
they're trying. That's just never going to happen.
Same thing about the Texas independence movement. Every now and then,
no. You missed it. This ain't what they want.
Yeah, it's not the Cal exit. It's not the Cal exit. They just want to. They just want certain rural areas to be their own little.
What they're doing is if you look at the map, the coastal area starting. It's just the coastal area that's going to stay California. The rural areas and they've already, everybody in these rural areas that are blue have already signed this.
It's not going to happen.
They want to become
just trying to make turn California into a red state. It up.
Yeah, half of California.
You look at it from along the southern states, from California to Texas. If Mexico wanted to take over those states again, they damn well could because they have the fucking numbers over here already.
And also, we pretty much demilitarized in a way, like so we don't we have super strict gun laws, so it's hard to own weapons or anything. So like if California ever wanted to be like its own state or its own country, you'd have to like build up our own military and also like probably ease up the taxes because like.
Shoot, I'm in Northern California. We have everybody has guns around here. Everybody.
Everybody has guns here, and also in New Mexico and Arizona.
That's right. There's not many people that aren't.
You don't break into someone's house here.
Yep, that's the way it is here too. And you don't know. I mean, half the people are have them legally. The other half have them illegal. That's why I say this whole gun control stuff isn't going to do anything because you can go out and on the underground go buy a gun and it's never going to be registered to you. It's never going to do anything. They're not going to stop that by regulating gun control.
There's no gun registration in Texas.
Oh well, here they try to get they try to make it really hard.
I can literally go up the road and buy a gun off of somebody.
Oh, you can do pretty much that all over the country. It says they were in Sacramento today. They were reading their own version of the Declaration of Independence. The founders of New California took the first steps in what is hopefully eventually lead to statehood. The federal government said for them, they have to be able to show that they can govern their state for 18 months. If they can, they would consider letting them become the 51st state. So Cali might not have a choice in this.
It's not going to happen.
It's up to them. I mean, all the states, all these I guess, counties have already signed in. So it's only the yellow ones that are staying California. The blue ones have all signed. They want what they're saying, and this is what they're citing. All these other
don't believe everything you read on the internet, Joe. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. I'm in California. I'm in Sacramento, and I'm telling you, this is not going past. People here in California, they're not interested in that. Like people, when they don't like California, they just want to move out of the damn state. They don't want to just.
They got lots of people backing them on this one. They said this isn't like the first attempt. A couple of about a year ago, they had another attempt.
Well, but that was Cal Exit.
Yeah, that was
different.
They're not doing that.
That was different.
All they want to do is they want to leave San Diego, San Francisco, and a bunch of the other big cities all together as one strip along the coast. And the rules and all the rural ones want to succeed from Cali. They don't want to succeed from the United States, just from Cali, and that makes it much easier. Trying to get out the U.S. is almost impossible, but splitting
but that sounds like some GOP right wing.
Right,
it isn't, but it's not. It has nothing to do with the GOP. This has been going on
from California. You know, all of us from here in real middle America are supposed to just absolutely hate you because you're on the coast, right?
Right. You're no longer part of our state.
You're
the enemy. You're not a real Californian. You live on the coast.
Virginia split. What they're talking about doing here is the same thing Virginia and West Virginia did.
Yeah,
but talking about the same thing, and they got the vote.
Right. This is a whole different time. This is different.
They got the vote. So the feds have already, in case y'all didn't notice, the feds have already recognized this. Okay,
well, we'll talk.
Joe, you're talking like this shit's going to happen next week.
It's not happening.
The Fed said that they have to govern themselves for 18 months.
We can't even govern ourselves for a month.
That's what they're saying. California can't. They say they want out of your state because you got the highest taxes and the highest poverty of any two states in the country. They want out. They said they're tired of being taxed because of L.A., San Francisco, and San Diego. He said it's not fair to the rest of the state that we got to pay for these big cities when we don't have anything to do with it. They're right. And
we're right. We're right in there with that. I mean, I live in Sacramento, and it's like, so expensive to live in the city. So everybody's coming to Sacramento because it used to be cheaper. You have to drive an hour and a half, and now it's just as expensive to live here as it is in San Francisco.
If they left, you would see like an 8% decrease in tax right off the bat. They said more like 18 after just 2 years, because they say the legislature now is just out of control. They just tax. I mean, come on, y'all pay a fart tax. Y'all pay a 22%.
We'll talk about this again when it actually happens, because I don't think this should happen. Sorry.
That would be like saying in Texas, you're going to take El Paso, Southern Texas, San Antonio,
because they don't like
Austin, and make them their own state because they vote left.
Texas will never split. They only got one real liberal.
California is never going to split either. I'm telling you.
Barely run itself, dude. Don't even trip.
California, on the other hand, they've been trying to split. See, that's a real difference. They've been trying to split California now for a while. It's going to split sooner or later. Again, I would put money on this that California is going to split. Now, there's a couple of ways this might happen.
How much money you want to put on it?
Rip the bitch in half. I know it's going to split. Sooner or later, it's going to slide off into the ocean. You can't win this.
Oh, well, so we're not talking about that.
You can't win it. So it's going to either split that way.
No, it's not, Joe. We both went to school in California. Do you know how much shit they teach you about earthquakes and plate tectonics in California?
That is never going to drop into the ocean. We might get a big old tsunami, but it's not going to break off into the ocean.
Oh, you got to go to the beach and see California's dropping in the ocean every day. It's pushing that way. It's going in the ocean no matter what. You can't.
You're acting like the San Andreas Fault runs down the middle of
California. I know, but we know Joe knows everything.
Because it's plate tectonics. This is old science. It's been around for a long time. California's moving westward. It's going to go in the ocean. It don't have a choice. It's just a matter of time.
Entire North American continent.
Or just become a big island, like maybe 100.
Yeah, well, become part of an island. Part
of land is slowly losing landmass due to the ocean rising, which has been happening for thousands of years.
You're listening to Joe Montaldo, volcanologist, PhD.
Don't need a PhD. This is easy. They've been talking about this for 4 decades. This ain't nothing new. They've actually got people that have.
I hear that.
What's really funny about this? Like Bigelow bought 2 million acres in Nevada along where they think the line would split. Even he thinks it's going in the water. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of big businesses that bought big land out there because they know sooner or later California is going to split. It's science fact. It's not science fiction. It's science fact.
Yeah, but Bigelow got.
Well, let's
more
wait for it
money
to
than
happen.
Bigelow.
Let's wait for it to happen.
Problem
We'll
is,
see.
ladies and gentlemen, it is science fact, but I doubt anybody alive today's going to see it. And then again, look, I say that because I got friends out there. I don't want to tempt fate. Okay, I don't think anybody alive today is going to see it, but I mean,
Do we have a show coming up, Joe?
They've got no, not tonight. We're getting ready to get out of here though.
Oh God!
Actually,
Yeah.
Conspiratorial follows this. Adam saying Conspiratorial will be up in about 10 minutes, guys. But they're syndicated, so it's not like a hold on. So y'all.
Yeah, I need to get off too. Like I need to get off and get myself dinner. So like,
Gene,
Yeah.
you could have called in. You had been having on the big chicken shit. And Chris, no. Wait, hold on. God, this thing keeps popping up. Stop it, Facebook. Sorry, guys. This little window keeps popping up, and every time it pops up, the other window covers it. Oh Lord. No, she didn't call in. I was hoping she would. No, I'm not trying to end any friendships. I just hope she would call in. But they got my number, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, guys, we're going to get out of here in a few minutes. Don't forget, go to YouTube, like the page, subscribe. We are live on the UFO Paranormal Radio. We won't be back live on United Public Radio until, what did I tell you, April 28th? Because unfortunately, me and we're just not going to even go into that. But unfortunately, damn, I still can't believe we had fans for 9 days. Anyway, you can catch us on UFO Paranormal. It will be back on April 28th, so y'all can catch it over there as well. There's a lot to catch up on. Be sure. Joe was telling me something. He was having problems with iHeart, so I'll have to check on that. But you should be able to check the iHeart feed, the iTunes feed, the whole bunch of them. Christopher, I had read your thing earlier. Yeah, the video feed starting in May will be paid for video feeds. Everything else will still be free.
Pay for this.
But they're paid for shit they're already lining up to. That's starting in May. Matter of fact, the subscription thing will go out in the beginning of April, so anybody who wants to join can join that way. As far as everything else, that's just the way we're moving right now. Spreaker is a good place to listen to us. It's got a good chat room, is what I should say. Not a lot of people over there yet. I think, what was it? Somewhere 25,000 plays or something.
Yeah.
That's something else that confuses me, ladies and gentlemen. Look, subscribe. Spreaker's got 59 people subscribe to it and 24,000 plays and 600 downloads. Obviously, there's more than 59 people listening to it. What the hell? Subscribe. I don't. It's hard to get people to subscribe to any. They'll listen all day long, but getting them to click that subscribe button is like work. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Spreaker. It helps our revenue. It helps us to earn revenue for the station, so we don't have to charge for things. All of that helps out immensely. Feel free to donate anytime you want. You can catch it on any of our pages. Be sure to check out the entire lineup. All the new schedules are posted. Matter of fact, I think Greg updated most of the schedules to Facebook just recently, so you can catch them over there. You can go into this thing. Oh, too, while I'm on that, You Heard It Here First comes back January 28th. They do a lot of music. They bring in a lot of big name artists on, so be sure to check them out. They do rap, jazz, blues, rhythm, things like that. They bring a lot of people back in the day. They bring a lot of people from now on. So be sure to check out their music. It's a 2-hour show. It's going to be a daytime show, actually, on Mondays. It's in drive time, 3 to 5 Central Time. I believe it's they're airing out of Arizona, so it would be 2 to 4 in Arizona and 1, 2, 3 in Cali, and of course 4 to 6 out in the West Coast. So on the East Coast. So be sure to check it out. It's a good show. They got a lot of good hosts on there. They do a lot of hard work. They'll be bringing their guests on as well with video. You know, one of the nice things about the video feeds now is you get to see the guests, but more so, you get to see what we're doing. Like with Alfred Weber, you'll notice that the right side, you can see all the links we were talking about. Everything's physically there. You can go. You don't have to go look for everything. Some of the people we were talking about, some of the data we were talking about, you notice Alfred and I did screen share so you could see everything. Everything was on there. The other day they were talking about something. I actually put the letter up on the page with the two hosts talking so you could read the letter while the hosts were discussing it. It just adds a lot more to what we do because there's a lot more visualization. So be sure to check it all out. And again, subscribe. Click the subscribe button. Last time I checked, we're just really starting to advertise the YouTube page, but last time I checked, there was about 418 subscribers over there. So go click. Damn, YouTube don't even consider you serious until you get to 1,000. So you got to have 10,000 plays and 1,000 subscribers. At 10,000 plays, we did that in, I don't know, like 5 days or something. But the subscribe seems to be
money to be made in this field, Joe.
Not the field. We're not in the field, Jason. We don't do just the field, my friend. We do everything.
Even trying to pimp media around. There ain't no money to be made on YouTube anymore.
There's some. And not just there, there's some on Amazon and other places. It actually depended when you got in with YouTube, because we got lucky and got in before they changed this thing just recently.
You'd be better off selling fake musical memorabilia.
We don't feel nothing fake, man. To hell with that. It's we'll leave that to Sasha. She can sell that stuff. I don't need to be selling any of that. It's all I want is to stay busy and keep the station running smoothly, which was trying for the last month of December, man. We got hit by lightning to hit my metal roof on my house. Somehow or another, short of the GFI breaker I got, just blew the crap out of it. Then, of course, it blew the 2 power supplies, the 2 surge protectors in here, and murdered 5 computers. They're just almost completely useless. I managed to save some of the RAM, some of the, none of them I could save the power supplies, and 2 of them I couldn't even save the chip, and the damn things looked like the prongs melted. I've never even seen that before, and you know how many computers I've taken
Maybe it was
apart.
an alien.
I don't know what the hell it was. It shouldn't have happened. The reason I put the surge protectors in the box was to keep that from happening. It's a GFI breaker is what it's called. And you put them in there. These are 20 amp GFI breakers. They're supposed to trip easily. It should have never happened. It should have thrown that breaker as soon as we got hit, and it didn't. I think it must have fried the inside of the breaker or fried the pins or something and kept it open, because it just... But it didn't kill none of the monitors. I don't get that. It killed the computer, but didn't kill the monitor.
I guess God finally got tired of your shit, Joe.
But we're back up and running.
Apparently, he said, "Well, you know what? I was wrong," and got me some 6
Got you back up. That's right.
He said, "Look, Joe, we're gonna send you these, man, out of the blue."
Still wants us to be heard.
He was being tested by the Almighty.
Even though nobody listens to us.
This one on right here, this is an HP that would have been, if you bought it, it's about $1,150. It was donated. Beautiful computer, runs fabulous. The little 4-core over here was also donated. The 8-core is one of mine. The other 6-core over here was just recently donated. So I'm still down.
Don't give Joe any money for anything. Computer parts are so retarded expensive right now. Nobody should be buying them.
They are ridiculous. Well, I know when I went looking, because my main 8-core is from iBuy, and which is a good, a gaming computer company is what they really are. But even they have gotten. I mean, I think the cheapest thing they had was $1,200. What I wanted, because I want at least 16 gigs of RAM. I want at least 8 cores. I mean, I don't need a 2 gig video. I'd like at least a 2 or 4 gig video card. A good audio. Man, shit. What I wanted was $2,600. I was like, get out of here. I'm gonna pay $2,600 for a computer. It's gonna be something better than that.
Hey man, $60 worth a 16 gig kit, like $60 worth of RAM from a little more than a year ago is now a $200 kit.
Yeah, it's gotten stupid.
It's stupid.
When I updated this 8-core,
I'm poor. I can't afford that.
When I updated this from 8 gigs to 16 gigs, I paid $79 for the 16 gigs. The other day I wanted to buy 16 for this new computer. And updated, it was $261, and we're talking DDR3. We're not even talking DDR4. I was like, get the hell out of here.
Oh, DDR3 is stupid because there's not as much demand for it anymore, but 4 is just...
Oh, we're talking Chinese again.
Yeah, Linda said. Linda, I just heard Linda from the other room. Geek talk. Anyway, we got to wrap up. We got to get out of here, guys and girls. Any moans, groans, bitches, or complaint, you can always write to ICAR@cox.net anytime you feel like it.
Won't do any good, but you can bitch about it.
Yeah, you can bitch. I'll probably just ignore you, but you can. Or I might send you over to Christina.
No, send it to me.
By the way, guys, for everybody listening tonight, there's something wrong with the UPRN at Cox.net email. I don't know what it is. I call it Cox. They have no idea what it is. It disappeared somehow into their system, and they can't figure out how to get it out. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, we can see it. We just can't access it. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, it's here. We just can't get to it. So I don't know. But you can write to the iCar one. I have no idea why to do. Or you can write to, and if you're a friend of mine, y'all got my personal emails. Anybody else, just write to iCarcox.net. It's the easiest way to catch us right there. Or better yet, I mean, if you just got to talk to us, you can call 504-273-7379. Sometimes I answer. You can catch me. Sometimes you can just leave a message, or you can call into one of the live programs if you want to get in that way. There's lots of ways to catch us. It's just sometimes you got to be patient because there's a lot going on these days.
Or you can call the complaint line at 1-800-SCREW-YOU and tell them all about it.
Or you can send us a message to one of our Facebook pages.
Yes.
There you go. True. Don't send them to me. I don't care. I'm not checking them.
Yeah,
don't send me one. I'm just going to ignore it too.
Me too.
Facebook is a good way to catch up. It actually, for me, if you see me posting, you know I'm there.
I'm not even on UPRN anymore. I just come on every now and then at random to annoy the shit out of Joe.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm glad. I'm glad you came on, Jason. As you can see, I'm not this big bad mean bitch that everybody might think that I am. I'm actually a pretty cool girl. Just I just don't put up with a bunch of bullshit. I don't have the patience for it.
Well, you seem all right. I'm not gonna go and start trashing you on any form of social media.
I would appreciate that. There you go. That to me, that tells me a lot. That's right. That makes a lot.
Facebook witch just said they're gonna put a voodoo curse on.
Well, I already got one.
Sasha, these girls are serious.
Oh my! Do you know how many idiots in the paranormal and UFO field have threatened to use their voodoo powers, alien powers, mind-blowing things to hurt me? And I'm like, bring it.
Go ahead. There you go. Go ahead. I know. I just had a witch just tell me that she was going to put a curse on me, so I just said, okay, go for it.
Time I was threatened, I could retire. Especially in this damn field, man. Oh Lord.
Well, first of all, if you're going to put it out there like that, anyway, you're full of it because why would you tell somebody you're actually going to try to do something to them? That's stupid as hell. But there's a lot of stupid people out there, so it doesn't surprise me.
Hilmi. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. Hilmaya. Actually, no, I did actually say that on that show. That's that wasn't meant to go out to show you. I know you're talking about the one with Larry. That's why you can't find it because that break was not supposed to go out. No, I just said something bad, but it really shouldn't have been out. It's and Sasha's just been running up, but so I can help Sasha understand because that's another thing she should have took the time to educate herself on because she looks like an idiot. The reason all that started is a good host, a crazy host of mine, Jeffrey Pritchard, got into it with the other radio network and some of the hosts over there, and then one of the other people over there told him about some stuff going on. Well, he's anal, so he went and checked it out. He just can't help himself. He's just anal. So he went and checked out and found out it was true. So he made a big deal about it. Race got all upset about it and posted a letter, which I still have the letter today. And Jeffrey has a copy of the letter posted to his website. And it was discussing someone he hired and some. I don't want to talk about it on here because we're on YouTube and we're liable to get banned again. But it was just one of them things that was bad. And it should have been told to everybody that was dealing with the individuals, and it wasn't. So he made it president. Well, the guy we're talking about had been talking smack about me for a couple of weeks, and I heard about it through some of his hosts. So I was like, okay, whatever. And I said, if he keeps it up, we'll just bring this up as topic matter, which was wrong on my part.
We show talking about the drama.
Well, I got to clarify because I said it on the show, but I wanted everybody to know we weren't actually talking about that individual. We were talking about somebody else. And I could mention his name, but there's no reason to. There's no reason to hate on the guy because he wasn't even in the middle of this fight. He wasn't the one talking smack about me or the station or any other host. So, if y'all want to, that's your business. And if any of the host does, that's their business. But in this case, I just wanted to clarify because of what was said. Everybody thinks it's one thing when it was something else. So
let's just have a kumbaya moment and let this take a deep breath, exhale, and let it all go and move on.
I mean, we can make a big deal out of it. Everybody wants if that's what they want to turn it into. It's kind of embarrassing for them, and it really, I don't know the individual, so I don't personally have anything against the guy, and I don't know how much of what is what. I do know what was said was true because they had to send out the letter to let everybody know why they were hiring and this, that, and the other thing. And then one of their other hosts, which is a complete and utter idiot, went on a damn rampage and started just talking smack about Jeff, which just a big boy can take care of himself. But then he started talking smack about me. And I'm like, wow, dude, I don't even know you. Why are you talking about me? I don't even talk about y'all station. I couldn't even care if y'all existed. And still, I got to hear it. I will just never get people and why
Well,
they got
let
to
me
go attack
prove to
people.
you how small of a world all this drama and ufology crap is. The person that we keep referring to without saying his name or what offender registries he may or may not be on just happens to be buddies with the anti-Sasha, pro-Warren little fan club that they've got over there.
Wait, which one? You lost me.
Interesting web they weave.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's
you
a
know,
small
and the
world
thing
in
is,
this field.
and the thing is that people in this field flip flop. One moment they'll be a supporter, the next moment they'll be a hater. That goes back and forth. It depends on what's said. I mean, it's like politics. You know, you can have a friend for 25 years, and then you can go out and say, "Oh, I'm pro-Trump" or "I'm against Trump," and the next thing you know, you lose that friend. You hate that person. You guys are attacking each other online just because you have a different opinion on something. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Like you just have to learn to agree to disagree. Let's just move the hell on. It's
That's how it used to be.
I've lost
That was
so
one of
many
the things-
friends over this last year because
Yes!
I think Trump and Hillary were both shitty
both
candidates.
bad. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've been disowned by everybody, and they both hate me for different reasons, but exactly in the same petty
Right.
fucking way.
But
Right,
people got to
right.
learn. You just got to disagree in politics and move on. I mean, Jesus, I spent 18 months hating on Trump. Now I'm spent 3 months defending him. I'm just getting aggravated all the way around here. I'm just I'm at the point where it's something I don't even try to report anymore when we do the news. I just go on to whatever else is going on because it's got to be like a circle jerk.
That's what every time I watch any news program, I don't even want to watch it because it's going to be 40 minutes of idiots arguing about the stupid shit Trump tweeted today.
Right.
And
that's what it is.
there's a whole world of news and shit happening all around us, but no, we've got to argue the same argument we've argued every night.
It's like the shithole comment. I'm thinking, I hear this the other day, and somebody goes, "You think he really said it?" I said, "Yeah, I think he really said it."
Oh, yeah,
I said, he said, "What do you think?" I said, "It doesn't matter to me." I said, "He's probably right." I said, "A lot of these countries are shitholes." I'm like, look, I said,
And that's how he feels. Jesus Christ, everybody's got their own opinion.
That we can't admit to the truth about shit.
Oh my God, you can't say anything nowadays.
Then you got to put it in context, though, when they're talking about South American countries and the entire continent of Africa, and he says the shithole thing, and then he follows it up with, "Why can't we have people like those honkies from Norway coming over here?"
Oh, well, this is something interesting, and I didn't know this. I learned this today, by the way. So they were talking to Trump about racism, and his son
And I'm
goes,
sorry,
"Well,"
I mean, nation of Norway, I think y'all are awesome. I don't mean.
Y'all just the example.
Just for an example, don't get mad.
The doctor and his son, and his son's telling us why Trump can't be racist. So I'm listening. I'm kind of like, wait, why can't he be? Because he's colorblind and he can only see green. So everybody is green to him. He doesn't see color like we do. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. I don't know if it actually means anything or not, but it was interesting. It still can
Maybe
be
that's
racist,
why
but
he thinks
even-
all that orange looks good.
You know what it might be, because he does got an orange thing. What's really freaky about all this is seeing the Europeans. They got Trump lookalikes all in parliaments and in Congress. They've all pretty much turned conservative in Europe, and even the Scandinavia. Come on, Austria put a conservative in. Sweden put a conservative in. Man, Europe is just going to be completely conservative, except for maybe Merkel, and she's not a liberal. She's a whatever the hell they call her. She started out kind of conservative when what's his name?
Yeah,
was
but
around.
Merkel's not the queen bitch of everything anymore like she used to be.
Not.
Right.
She's not. She's way down the list these days, and she's not the head of the EU anymore. And she's been kicked down hard because she allowed 1 million Muslims into Europe, and a lot of Europeans hate her for it. And now you got 2 other countries talking about leaving the EU now. Everybody said Britain would never leave, and Britain's leaving. And that's they needed Britain. I mean, pound sterling's the best money on the planet.
You know what we need to do is if we're going to get into a petty little war with somebody, we need to get into a war with Turkey.
Yeah, we can't though. Turkey's NATO.
Yeah, they want to be
I
part of
agree
the
with
EU
Turkey
too,
to
but
be bitchy.
I mean, we've throughout this entire Gulf War shit, I've always felt bad for the Kurds. I mean, they were the only people just trying to keep their shit together, being attacked by everybody, and we've left them hanging. And now that we've armed a few of them and gave them the ability to better patrol their own territory, Turkey has said he's basically going to wipe them off the map.
You better watch out. 'Cause Trump is a far better military president than Obama was, and he's far more scary when it comes to the military.
I don't think Trump's really good at anything, dude.
He's got to be. You don't get to be worth $9 billion because you suck at anything. And actually, dude, he's passed more bills than all but one president. That's a fact. Even Rachel Maddow hated to admit to it. He's got China doing all sorts of stuff. He's got the UN putting sanctions on North Korea. He's got China sending people to North Korea. He's got them cutting off their fuel and their gas and their food, which Obama couldn't get any of this done. He spent 8 years trying to get any of this done. Trump ain't been president even a year, and he's got this done.
Oh, speaking of North Korea, what y'all think about that missile alert that they got? I mean,
well, Japan got one too. You heard about that on the next day.
I didn't hear about Japan getting one. I think somebody pressed the button just to test an experiment to see how freaked out people would be.
Well, that could be though, Jason. But the thing is that this isn't a button that you can just like mistakenly push by mistake. You went to go push something, you hit the wrong button. That's
what they want us to believe.
No, there are 5 fail-safe things that they have to go through and approve before they get to where they can send that out for those exact same reasons. So it went out. It didn't go out by mistake, but I think that it was, like you said, I think it's more to number one, to see how people were going to react, which was really stupid because it scared the hell out of a whole lot of people. I got a lot of friends in Hawaii that were, some people were hiding in bathtubs. Some people were sticking their kids down manholes in the sewer system. Like people were calling their loved ones to tell them goodbye, and to wait 40 minutes before they let people know that this was, a false alarm was ridiculous. But it also, then you kind of get the boy that called, wolf syndrome going. So if it happens again, people aren't going to really take that serious. And what about if it really is serious? So
I'm kind of thinking.
I wonder a couple of things about that. All right, the only thing that I've seen are people post photos of the emergency text message that was sent out with screenshots on their screen. I mean, did the whole emergency broadcast system didn't go off? Because look, I'm from the 80s.
No, it went off as well as the siren.
The radio cuts off and goes beep.
Yeah, everything went off. Everything.
The sirens and everything.
The sirens went off. Everything went off.
So
they said they scared them, but people were putting people down in sewer drains and under their houses. They were freaking out about it because it said it was an imminent attack. A ballistic missile could hit at any minute, is what the warning said. So I mean,
and then you also have to think about too that the CDC the week prior had put out the article about how to survive a nuclear attack, and then the week that same week prior to this happening in Hawaii, they were doing a test on the siren system, and they let everybody know that they were going to be doing a test where they had to go in and they were actually readjusting them because a lot of people weren't even hearing the sirens. And so they put new ones up, they readjusted them. And then so for this to happen right afterwards, of course, nobody knew what to expect. They didn't know how to react. They really didn't know, what do? You're on an island and you get a text saying that you're about to get struck by a nuclear missile. I mean, man, that's some horrible stuff. And it's not like after that guy sent that, that pushed that button and even going through all this
the Japanese one was even worse. They said it's a Japanese broadcaster apologized after false North Korea missile alert.
Right, that's why
the Japanese were freaking.
Yeah,
because they've been missiles at Japan for months now.
Right. So and the fact that they happen so close together. I mean, these things happen for a reason.
Quick question before we go, because I was talking with about somebody the other day. They were comparing Iraq's military to North Korea's military. And because somebody said, North Korea's got a much bigger military, but they didn't. Iraq had a 1.5 million man army, and it was well equipped. I mean, the Russians and the Americans equipped them. I mean, they had anti-missile defense system. They had for shooting down airplanes. Of course, didn't matter to us, but I can't see where North Korea is that much more organized than Iraq was.
Yeah, but honestly, we didn't even really have to fight most of Iraq's army. They saw what was coming, and
they were
most of them smart thing and surrendered. I don't know how
North Korea is not going to be that way. I don't think.
Yeah, North Korea will be just like that. Actually, North Korea will probably be better because North Koreans are starving. This is what happened when Japan invaded China in World War II. Japan had to hardly fire any shots. They were trading bowls of rice for weapons. So the Chinese were giving the Japanese their weapons for a bowl of rice. You'll see that same thing in North Korea. It won't take us long. We're already cutting their sanctions off. So in about 6 months to a year, they're going to be down on everything. If we start attacking them nonstop.
Yeah, but here's the thing about North Korea, though. It's not their nuclear weapons that are the big threat. Yeah, that's scary and shit, but it's not their massive. I mean, they've got a huge army. I'm not sure how well equipped it is, but all of their shit is old and ancient. I mean, they've got like some MiGs from the 50s. I got a couple of them, but that's about it. It's their conventional artillery that's the problem, because from their side of the border, they can basically shell like 80% of South Korea's population. And that's before their nuclear weapons program. That was basically their mutually assured destruction deterrent. If you ever try to invade us again, we're going to kill millions of South Koreans before you've got time to do anything about it.
Actually, but see, that's not true.
But then they're going to get blown up too, right?
But we don't have to do that right now.
Well,
we can
they're going to be convinced they're going to be wiped out, so they're going to take somebody with them.
But that's the problem. If we send in 10 stealth bombers and carpet bomb them, they ain't gonna be doing anything. They won't see the planes coming, so the whole area will be flattened. Right now, we have the ability to bomb 10 miles long, 15 miles wide. So you're not surviving, and they don't have their shields not that big. I've heard several generals talk about this. They said we could mine them into the freaking Stone Age in less than 3 months, and we could take out that system in less than 4 hours. So it's not what everybody makes it out to be. I thought it was.
You can't get everything though, dude. You can lob mortars across the DMZ, and you know how portable those are.
Yeah, but if you go and what they're talking about is
I'm talking conventional field artillery. You know,
this is what they're talking about. A 4-day effort.
You can't get it all.
Entire border, 10 miles wide. There's not going to be anything left, and you're not going to come in that open territory because you're going to be open and you're going to get killed. And they're not. And once that happens, that's it. They got to push back, and they got to keep pushing back. And China's not going to take up for them, and neither is Russia. Matter of fact, I liked what Putin said.
Yeah, but are you willing to be the one to make that decision and push that and enable those plans when you very well could kill millions of South Koreans in a split second?
We won't make that decision. We're going to let North Korea make that decision for us.
Now, actually, what we need to do is we need to back off and let North Korea and South Korea work this out and discuss it and fix it on their own terms. I mean,
we're not going to do that because he has a nuclear weapon that can reach the United States.
That's like saying
we're not going to do that.
We need to let.
That would be the most ignorant thing we could do, because this guy will use a nuke sooner or later. And he will use a nuke against an American target or a British target. Crazy men should not have nukes. Okay.
But getting back to our original topic, I mean, that's like say, we need to just let, Larry and Sasha figure everything out and figure this out and make peace. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen,
So then let it be their problem and let everybody else ignore it.
I agree.
Most about North Korea is they
here's the thing with us in North Korea. We are supporting South Korea. China's supporting North Korea. It's not simply North and South Korea. I mean, big imperial powers are at play here.
Well, I agree with Joe. You got to be crazy to have nukes, but we got 10,000 in a BI. We got more than Russia does now. The thing about it is,
it's basically a dick contest. Who has the bigger
I love that button thing, because neither one of them got a button, by the way. In case y'all didn't notice, ladies and gentlemen, there is no big red button on the desk of the president.
Right.
It's a box. It's actually a briefcase. It's called a football. That's carried around with him. And y'all are wrong to the people who sent me that the other day. The president can declare war for 90 days without Congress. He can retaliate and nuke anytime he wants. He does not have to have Congress's permission to do so. That is the War Powers Act. The president has the right to declare war for 90 days. Then Congress can come in and say, okay, we shouldn't be doing this, or we should be doing this. But until then, he can do it. So if he wants to nuke somebody, Congress can't stop him.
Yeah, Trump, even if the Congress told him he could, he'd probably be like, screw you, I'm doing it anyway. Let me push the button. I got the box.
And what's his general's name? I heard him yesterday saying, North Korea, this is the only chance you got. We're going to deal with this before Trump is out of office. So you can either make peace and get rid of your nukes or go to war. But they've pretty much made up their mind. They're going to resolve this.
We've been hearing the same shit since forever. The 50s, man.
No, actually, we haven't been. Everything Trump says he's going to do, he does. I got to give him credit for that. When he told China, I need to go talk to them, China went and talked.
All he knows how to do is shit post.
Has Trump had Mexico pay for the wall yet?
Actually,
exactly.
He changed the tariff, so Mexico will pay for part of the wall. Yeah, he changed
What's he going to do? Send him a bill?
No. He said when he was running for president that he was going to have Mexico pay for that wall.
Mexico's going to pay for the wall.
Until Mexico's president said, no, the hell we're not.
In case y'all didn't know this, we got rid of the trade programs.
Yeah, Mexico's going to be like the check is in the mail home.
Right, yeah.
So we got rid of
the IOU.
And we started a new program. So, yes, Mexico is going to pay for the wall because the trade deficit is changed now.
Okay.
If they want to trade with our country, this is what they got to pay to do business.
No, they told us to fuck off and started buying all of their grain from Brazil.
They tried.
Exactly.
They tried.
That shit goes both ways.
Yeah, they tried to. They cannot, and even the Mexican president
Mexico doesn't give a damn what we say.
Yeah, they do. They can't survive without our economy. Without it, they're dead. They're a nobody. They're back to a third world nation. Most of the world can't survive without it.
Back to a third world nation.
Trump
has always been a third world
Trump
nation.
is cutting off countries left and right. Come on, he told Pakistan, you know what? You ain't getting $600 million. Screw you. You want to act like this? We're not going to give you any more money. He told Mexico the same damn thing. You want to act like that? We're going to cut your fund off. We give them
yeah, but here's the thing with Pakistan. Though. They're a country that we've needed to tell them to fuck off for quite a long time now.
Great.
But you tell them to fuck off, they're a nuclear armed nation, and that just makes them some crazy ass jihadi getting a nuke.
Right.
That's
and they're just as crazy because they'll blow everything up and think they're going to heaven, so they'll be happy.
It's been a long time that America needed to start standing up for itself again and stop giving way to all the rest of the countries on the planet. We are, after all, the most powerful nation to ever exist. It's not. We shouldn't have to be kissing everybody's ass. Look, you don't want to deal with us? Don't. We got the most money of everybody.
And more or less, this country was created by people from other nations.
Yeah, we're a $30 trillion a year economy. Yeah, we're half the world's economy. Half. At the $64 trillion, America's half of it. Europe's the other half. All the rest of the countries combined only make up about $6 trillion. I mean, hell, China's only a $2 trillion nation. Russia's only a $1.
Because everyone knows that Americans are greedier than everyone else.
Yes. Well, we're the richest. And we got the money and we got the power. And you either going to suck
American corporations make a shitload of money, but the average person has seen no significant wage increase for 50 fucking years.
Well, I'm not arguing
that. It's barely kept up with inflation.
You know, I ain't going to argue with we all.
One of them have had a job for like 10 years.
I'm ready for like $80 an hour, guys. We got to get out of here because I got to let Adam get going because he's got to be up because Spaced Out Radio is coming up after him with Dave Scott and their group. Guys, yeah, Adam Saint's a good show. Conspiratorial, it's kind of left leaning, but it's a good show. And then Dave Scott and Spaced Out Radio and their crowd over there, they're a lot of fun to listen to. Kara,
my buddy Dave.
We don't carry Midnight in the Desert because we carry Spaced Out Radio. I'd love to carry Heather, but I'd already cut the deal with Dave, and I'm not two-faced like that. I like Heather. Heather and I are friends, and I would bring her on the network in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, I told her the other day because she had made a weird post. I said, well, if you ever decide to leave, you got a home here. She's a lot of fun. She's a lot to talk to. She's been on this network a couple times. I've been on her network.
She'll be on my show next month.
Yeah, Christina was just on her show the other day, and
she'll be on mine next month.
Don, she's no Art Bell. She's not Art Bell. She's got a different hosting style. She's doing well. She got some of Art Bell's habits. I'll say that. I've done enough interviews with her now that she's got some of Art's habits, and her and Art talk. So, but no, she's not Art Bell. She's Heather Wade. That's who she is, and they do a good job over there. I like talking to them, enjoy them. To everybody, I want everybody that's friends with Karen Dole, send her some love, send her some wishes. She's recovering from surgery and stuff, so everybody tell her hi, and everybody, just send her something nice. Be nice. Other than that, guys, we got to get out here. Any parting words, ladies, gentlemen, strangers, weird skulls in the background? Anybody? Another? Oh, no, Don, we just talked about the Japanese. I know another false missile, but thanks for sending it to us. This is Seoul, South Korea. What is this? Oh, all right. Sorry, I see it. Seoul talking about the Japanese alert. Okay, I got you. So what do y'all think? One question, then we're going to go. So what do y'all think about North Korea?
You can never get off, Joe.
Well, because I wanted to ask this earlier and I forgot. Because North Korea is sending, what do they call it, the cheerleading squad to the Olympics? I'm trying to scream at my wife. Oh, they're going to send athletes too? Okay. So they're sending a cheerleading squad and some athletes. I guess they're going to do a joint deal with South Korea. That's a good thing if Kim Dumbass will get rid of his nukes. Because sooner or later, Trump's got this thing about, I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it one way or another. I mean, one of the things they're fighting about right now is the border, that they won't do the budget without the border. I'm like, Lord.
Yeah, but those two idiots would never be able to make an actual deal because they'd be too busy about their little dick measuring contest between one another.
Yeah, well, we got the button measuring contest, which I still think is funny. What did he say? Oh, my button's way bigger than yours, and mine actually works. I was like, did he just say our button actually works? Yeah, I think it might work, you idiot.
The Trump topic gives me about as big of a headache as the Sasha Larry
That was
topic.
funny. I mean, that kind of stuff is just funny when they say stuff. I gotta say, he's probably the most entertaining president I've seen in, I don't know, 100 years.
He just doesn't have any filter, and but again, he's a lot like Larry. They just say whatever the hell's on their mind, no matter what who it offends or
he's your
who it'll piss
typical
off.
everyday American. You know what? This is how we are. You don't like us, kiss our ass. And that's who we are. As a country, that's what made us
Well,
great.
it wasn't no Ronald Reagan. I mean, I'll just say that. I mean, he sure is the greatest ever. And then again, Reagan wasn't as great as a lot of people made him out to be, but at least he played the role of president halfway decent.
Reagan was probably the best president we've had in the last 50 years. But saying he was a great president is pushing it. It's like saying Clinton never had sexual relationship with what's her name?
You can't find a president, even the beloved JFK, that didn't do some shady shit that he shouldn't have done or let a policy happen that should never have.
JFK was only a hero to the Democrats and the liberals. He wasn't to anybody else. Everybody else thought he was just a womanizing, you know what. And so it's just all in the way you view at him. Plus, he almost started World War III. Jesus. He almost got us all killed. But, you know, according to Men in Black, he just went home. He didn't die.
All right, Joe. We got to go.
We got to get out of here. We're way late. Guys, Adam.
Like 47 minutes late.
You know, only 47 minutes late.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Time's
We
relative.
should have ended 10 minutes to the hour. So we're like 57 minutes late. But
I know.
guys and girls, y'all know on Wednesday night I take liberty because I own the damn network.
You take it every night.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy the YouTube. Enjoy all the stuff. If you like something, or
Shit,
you
this
know
is
a good
going
show,
on YouTube.
we don't have many slots. I mean, I think we've got like 3 slots open on the network. But if you know a good show or you'd like to see, but you want to write to us, send us the information. We do still take shows off of Blog Talk from time to time. Wait, who bought them, by the way? Somebody just bought them. Spreaker bought them, right?
Who cares?
No, I think
Yeah,
Spreaker
everybody
bought
and
them.
their brother's got some little radio show. Anyway.
I know. Right.
Yeah, but some little radio show with 5 listeners don't matter. We got a few more listeners than that. It's the thing about it is, guys,
when it was still cool.
click, 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 and click that damn subscribe. I'm out of here.
Like and subscribe.
Again, any moans, groan, bitches, or complaints, right to iCarCox.net. Upcoming show.
Right to Joe.
With Conspiratorial, followed by Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Good night, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And guys, hold on 1 second.